Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
By the power of Grayskull!
I am dumping unlimited power into you. That's what
all Shooty wanted to do was be inside me. It was one of the first James Bond movies I watched, so I have a bit of a connection to it. And
That's Dermot's excuse.
I don't fuck.
It was their first date, Adam. Shut up.
I will stop bringing it up. I don't give a fuck what that wannabe VTuber cunt wants to say. Okay, let me have my moment.
Dude, that's like a test of strength. That's not gay. That's like I'm gonna grip you. I'm gonna grip you harder than you grip me. I wonder what the championship belt would look like. Just like a big ass.
This would be my penis wrapped around their waist.
We named zombies after you in that game.
Yeah,
rightfully so.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're these big fat bloaters that sun themselves and they just lay there.
Oh, those are the things that come out of my rainbow's ass.
Adam, you being Worf is cultural appropriation. I won't.
Cultural appropriate my dick. I don't care. I will have earned my riches and my surly attitude by the time we get there.
If I were going to culturally appropriate your dick, you'd have to go get that surgery. To get
oh, good lord! Here we go.
Yeah.
Come.
And that is just.
Oh God!
Those eyes, dude. Those eyes, man. Those eyes.
Pretty eyes.
I'm not looking at them eyes right now. You know what?
I know, but she is a total package. She is a total package.
I usually think Ryan. I usually think Ryan is very cringe when he says this, but she can shit in my mouth.
Whoa, Dermy!
Why do you have to ruin this?
What the fuck?
Why
Ryan says that shit. Fuck, Ryan says this shit.
If Ryan jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge?
But you just
her, yeah.
Would. Here we are worshiping this beautiful woman, and you're talking about German shit eating. I mean, come on.
Listen. I will drag my ball sack.
No. Listen.
100 miles worth of
Shut the fuck up.
broken glass, salt, and lemon juice just to smell her farts.
We're not on your goddamn stream. We're on Adam's stream. We're
wow,
supposed to respect the man's house. You don't take shit in his goddamn fridge.
They warned us about people like you!
And to be fair, racist was Hitler.
Don't you wish you could get them all together? Like you had Q's powers. If you had Q's powers, I'd take every single one and put them in a room and just give them like girl fucking boner medicine.
I've had that fantasy. I've had that fantasy. Okay, we all. Dude,
I'd make them all super horny.
Dude, after
they're all drooling, just like ravenous, and then I just throw myself in the room and go, "Take me, ladies."
I was just waiting for Gal to pop up in the chat.
Oh God, I would run. I'd run.
Honestly, Devil, when you were saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna put him in the room," I just thought like you were gonna say, "I'm gonna put him in a jar."
Yeah, keep him in. No, hell no. I'm gonna put him in a room with just me and a big bed.
Oh. Lots of pillows.
And you know what? They can have fun with each other while they're taking turns with you. I mean,
I'm gonna eat a candy bar made of Viagra and just 20 hours of sex.
They would find you a week later completely dead, like a desiccated husk of a corpse because they'd sucked every bit of moisture out of your body.
Dude,
and there's one phrase that will go, "I had snoo."
Yeah. I'd write on the sheets. Death by snoo. It was perfect.
There we go. All better now. Man, titties are the greatest things on earth.
Hi. I'm tired. Hello to Mellow Mondays, everybody, where we get up to God knows what. I don't know what's going to happen. Devil can't be here because he done got himself sick. He ate something. I don't know. Maybe he was out with Dermy and ate something. I don't know. He says he's sick. So Devil, feel better. We'll catch you next time because we got barely anything to talk about. I got like one, maybe two things. I'm glad you're Samuel. I was like, shit. Do I have the energy and focus to go till you got here? But you're here. How you doing?
Oh, I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. At least I don't have foodborne dermaids.
Yeah. Foodborne dermaids. I've never heard it quite put like that before. But they guess don't let Dermy handle your food. Okay, just don't do it. You won't get foodborne dermaids, I'm sure. Anyway, yeah. So it's been a long day. You know, I was on Lil Batoon's channel this afternoon on B Sub.
Nice.
It was a good time. It was a good time. Had a good time. Hope I'll get invited back. We had fun. We talked some Superman. Talked about everything I've already talked about this week. So it was just okay. Just recycle your material. And I think I succeeded in telling myself to not do the one thing I don't want to do. And that's talk over the people by accident. Because we know I do that.
Oh, that's good.
On this here.
We all do.
Yeah. But on my own channel, it's fine. It's whatever. It's my show. If I'm gonna step on you, that's fine. But you know, on somebody else's channel, new audience. Don't want to be don't want to be the interrupter guy, you know, don't want to be that dude. So I think I managed to rein myself in and wait for the proper opportunities to get my points in. So it was fun, had a good time. I really appreciate Little Platoon and his crew for inviting me over there. And if you guys want to watch it, I believe it's unlisted, but it's number 52. I think they do the re-upload thing still.
Okay.
So Dermy actually has he found it in there on a Twitter, so I think he has the link. But yeah, so check it out. And thank you again to Little Platoon and that crew for having me on. Anyway,
oh yeah, I actually forgot what day you were doing that. Otherwise, I would have been in the chat.
Making my I don't know if that was a good or a bad thing that you weren't there for me.
I would have behaved for you know your sake.
For my sake. But yeah, so I went to bed at like 4 a.m. last night because I was just, like I said, I wasn't nervous going on a large channel because I didn't know until yesterday that Little Platoon, he crossed 200,000 subs yesterday. So nice. I was like, wow, okay, it's gonna likely be a bigger audience than I was even expecting. So I was just up late, not nervous, just anxious, thinking about, okay, am I gonna be able to behave myself? And I just was playing games late last night, and then I slept most of the morning, and was like, okay. And what I didn't do is I didn't make myself watch Dune today. I didn't do that. I saved myself that.
So small blessings, right? But you know, to what you said a little bit ago about having to recycle material. I mean, that's one of the dangers of like running in the same circles with people who do the similar thing to you on the internet. Is you're going to end up in places where you're going to have to repeat talking about things.
Oh yeah, well, it was the same stuff that I've been talking about since last Thursday, so it was fine. No, well, it means I'm prepared. The only thing I couldn't talk about what happened in Sonic 3 because I haven't seen it. And I couldn't talk about what happened in Mufasa, but I could talk about all the surrounding stories and material because I've been covering that shit since last Thursday. So it was fine. They originally thought they were going to talk Star Wars, but Skeleton Crew has been such a wet fart that it wasn't worth wasting a segment on. So, hey, listen, not everybody is suffering like I am and discovering what I believe is the insidiousness of it because it's supposed to be a kid's show. And in last week's episode, they said on our planet, we treat our kids like adults.
Oh, that's lovely.
They were warriors, but it's still the same. It's still the line that means what it means, as far as I'm concerned. So my evidence keeps mounting for what's going on in that show. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about our normal, odd stuff. I hope the chat's having a good day before Christmas Eve. Hope you guys are having fun.
Greetings.
If you've been traveling, I hope you had a safe travel. I hope that you've arrived where you are and you're with family or friends. But if you're home like I am, and it's cold out there right now. I know where you are. It's always the tundra. It's always the tundra out there. But it's 28 degrees right now, so it's cold.
It's weirdly warm here this week.
Really?
Yeah, yesterday was 60 degrees.
Wow. It's been
today was a little
26
colder,
days.
but it's like, I mean, I think it just dipped below 40 like an hour ago, which is really, really unseasonably warm for this time of year.
That is, because you're always telling me how nasty it is there. I mean,
Yeah.
I did all my shopping days ago, so I'm good until Thursday. I don't have to leave the house while it's this damn cold. I did everything I needed to do. I got all the food, I got all the stuff, and I'm in. But it is cold. It is cold. And so I hope everybody's warm and safe and tucked away. And I hope you'll enjoy whatever we get up to here tonight. I think it's just me and you, Samuel. I don't think anybody else is coming by.
Then we won't be interrupted.
Yeah, just like me and Jed. It was just me and Jed on Sunday. It was just us. So the ginger and the Jew. And
so speaking of which, by the way, I did want to bring this up tonight. Something that Dermy brought to my attention on Twix.
Oh no.
Apparently there's a gaggle of Rachel Zegler fans who are going around talking about boycotting Snow White
I saw
because her co-star is an Israeli ambassador for peace. Like it gets like, I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole with this.
Oh no.
Oh my God, they just hate Jews.
No shit.
It's so bad.
Shit. Hey, listen, the anti-Semitism is real out there, man. It's not the play bullshit we do with me and Dermy, but it's that it's out there, and right on cue, right on cue, Kratos for $50. Thank you, Kratos. Merry Hebrew Christmas to baby Jesus and all the other skinless Hebrew dads. I'm gonna say that without losing my voice to a breathless laugh. I'm gonna repeat it again. Happy Merry Hebrew Christmas to baby Jesus and all the other skinless Hebrew national hot dogs in the room. Hey man, thank you, Kratos. And listen, those Hebrew national hot dogs, that's the only way to go, baby. All beef. Nothing, no lips and assholes in that. Thank you, Kratos, for the 50. And we'll see you.
I will.
Go ahead.
I will give the chosen people that they make a tasty hot dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I get those jumbo franks, man. The pack of the 4, they're big and they're juicy, and I'm gonna get clipped for that. Well, that's gonna have to go in there now. Yeah, it's gonna have to go in the reel. Thank you, Kratos, for the $50. Merry Christmas to you too, my friend. And if we'll probably see you tomorrow night on Dermy's Christmas Eve stream, where we're just gonna chill and play games. I think. After I've eaten my tasty dinner, I will pop in there. Yeah, you're clipping that. Yeah, I know you're clipping that. Kratos is always looking for me to slip up. I don't slip up too often. So when you get one of those, I cannot but say, got me. Yeah, don't be in the vicinity of Derby. Exactly, Sleazy. I would wish Sleazy happy Hanukkah, but it's not Hanukkah for another 3 days. So
also, it's kind of hard not to be in Dermy's vicinity. He's so broad.
Fat. Dermy fat. That's the word. Dermy fat. I don't know where he is right now. He should be here. He's not going anywhere tomorrow. He should be here. To be annoying.
Yeah, I don't do shit for the holidays. This little hat that I threw on this avatar. That's why I was late, by the way, is I was dicking around and making this avatar just for funsies. And I lost track of time, but this little hat I threw on there, this is as festive as I'm gonna get. So
hey, I've enjoyed this year. Last year I only had the Santa hat for about 2 weeks because I realized late I should wear a Santa hat on stream. We're wearing it the whole month. It's great, but this is the last night of the Santa hat because it's the last time I'm gonna be on camera for Christmas. Because when we come back on camera later in the week for Ballbusters or anything else, we're past it. So Santa hat goes off, goes back in the Ziploc bag and back in the drawer because I just don't want it to get all dirty. Now I don't have to wash it. I don't want it to like lose its fluff. I have a wash bag for it. I like to only wear it for like a couple hours a night for once a month a year. So it's fun. It's not nasty. It's not growing anything. Yeah. Moving on from that.
I might do something on the 25th. I might do a little stream on the 25th because I ain't got fuck all else to do. So
listen, right now I'm almost done with Octopath Traveler 2. It's been my go-to relaxation method for the past few weeks now. I think I'm on third. I think I'm playing for 3 weeks. I've logged over 60 hours in at this point, so it's gotten the money's worth. If you can get a good old fashioned JRPG for over 60 hours, great. I'm fine, and it's easy mode because I've over leveled massively. So
Yeah.
I have a pattern. I just destroy everything in my path. All the end game chapters are level 45. 2 of my characters are both over level 70. So I just bulldoze.
I'm kind of embarrassed, but I'm sort of doing something similar with Elden Ring. I'm on NG +5 right now.
Oh wow!
And I'm blasting through that because I am way over leveled. Because I'm trying. Well, there are 3 endings you get trophies for, but there are additional 3 endings or 6 endings to the game, and I've gotten 4 of them. So I'm trying to get all the endings, and then I'm going to be done with the game for a while. But I just crossed 700 hours playtime last night. So
yeah, I haven't even done a replay once on that. My one playthrough was it.
Yeah,
I got the what's the chick with the 4 arms? What's her name? I got her
Ronnie.
Yeah, I got the
the Age of Stars ending. Yeah, that's what they say is the best ending. Is the Ronnie ending. But I don't know. I just got this bug up my ass about it, and I was gonna I finished NG +4 the other day, and I was like, okay, I need to put this away for a while, and I just kept fucking going.
I've done that. I did that. There was a period of time where I did that with Mass Effect. I would beat it, and I would think, I had so much fun. Why shouldn't I play all three games over again? Why shouldn't I do it? So I did for a period of time, like 3 times in a row, and it was glorious.
Yeah.
And I loved. I don't regret a minute of it. You played Lies of P, right?
I haven't finished it yet, but yes,
Okay.
the reason I haven't finished it is because I actually started playing it on live stream, and then I don't obviously my setup can't handle that right now, so I haven't been doing it. But I do want to finish it because what I did play through, I've very much enjoyed.
Then when I referenced you the other day, it was wrong. Somebody on Ballbusters or Dry, I think no, it was during Chatterday, I think, or pseudo Chatterday when we were playing Dark Tide. Somebody said they got Lies of P and they were into it, and I said you swore by it, but you didn't finish it. So I guess I was thinking of somebody else that had sworn by it.
It might have been Static. I know he's a fan of that game.
Yeah, well, Static was there, so it wasn't him. He was there. Who Static? Real quick though, before we go any deeper into that conversation, thank you, Kel. Becoming a member. Thank you, Kel. We'll see Kel on our next gaming streams. He's always there. So while we were doing Dark Tide on Saturday night, Static was finally feeling well enough to eat something, and he got the Taco Bell chicken nuggets.
Well, that was probably a mistake.
I mean, he survived, but we kept trying to ask him, how is it? What are they doing? But get this. So guy delivered his chicken nuggets, but also left $80 worth of Popeye's chicken with it. And Static was like, winning. I'm just gonna keep it. He kept it. I think he kept it. If he was here right now, he's doing his stream right now, his political stream, I'd ask him. But I think he kept it. And he's like, yeah, I got food for days now. It's great. Listen, I'm all for takeout, fine. I just don't understand I understand Static was sick. He didn't want to go anywhere. I don't understand getting those Uber Eats or the Grubhub, whatever it's called, because of the markup price. I can't allow myself to get the markup price. I just can't.
Yeah, it's not just marked up. It's also, they also tack on an additional delivery fee, and depending on where you order from, depends on the amount of the delivery fee, obviously. But in addition to that, there's also an expected tip for the driver.
Yeah, which is fair. I mean,
it is, and it isn't. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of less and less inclined to give anybody tips for anything anymore.
True. I mean, listen, I haven't eaten out in forever, and when I do eat out, it's, can I have a slice of pizza? Thank you. Here's the cash. I'm not exactly sitting down in a restaurant, so it's been a long time since I tipped anybody. But having worked in the industry, here's the thing: when you work in restaurants, the gratuity situation is it's not the same in every establishment. Sometimes it's per server, they get it, great to them. But then sometimes some establishments collect it all and then divvy it up between the servers. So, or they add it, or they hold it and then add it to the paycheck. They don't let it be the cash, untraceable cash type of thing. So it's very different. So in an actual restaurant situation, I believe in the 15% gratuity for the server. It's the established rule, and they're doing a job. And if they're a good server, they got it rough, because having been in the back of the house, there's certain times when you are working as a chef or cook or whatever you want to call it, depending on the type of restaurant, you're an asshole. And when you're caught up in all the bullshit in your end, you treat those servers like peons. I caught myself doing it long time ago, and I realized, wow, shit, because it was like a sickness in the air on the line that night. Everybody was in a mood, and it infected me too. And I was fine. I had no reason to be an asshole that night, but I got turned into a dick as well. So I was abusive that night. So they're not only getting it from probably the back of the room, they're getting it from their managers, and if you deal with a crummy customer, they're getting it. So I think the servers deserve their tips, because they put up with a lot of shit. But at the same time, anybody that says give me more than 15% on order, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, because I saw somebody saying, I saw somebody do some server math on a meme a couple weeks ago. It was like, you should be, for this meal, you should give me this, and I did it. It's like, yeah, they asked for like a 50% gratuity or some insane shit. It's like, no, you don't deserve half the freaking worth of the meal. No,
and depending on where you are and which delivery services are available and all that stuff, some of these guys aren't making no money doing this. They're not reliant on the tips. The tip is extra. They're getting paid not only mileage, but like a wage as well. And it's like, you don't need a tip on top of that, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I don't understand it. Then again, also, like I said, I feed myself. The closest thing I get to takeout food is when I go to Costco and I get a slice of pizza. That's it. That is the only over-the-counter food that I get that I generally don't make myself. That it's been that way for years, because I don't. Nothing is good. Nothing's as good as what I'm going to make for myself. It's that simple. Either way. All right, I got a fun one. We'll start with this right here. I got this. Wait, did I save it? No, I didn't.
Chad, every time he says that shit, he brings up something horrendous.
No, this is nice. Well, usually you usually miss the normal shit that I give to Devil early on, and then I bring the horrible shit later on. Now, this is harmless. I came across this earlier in the week. I have two things that are actually really good. We'll start with this one, because this is a discussion starter for old folk like you and I. And I actually have a little. I'm not sure I can actually cleanly do this one. But I'll ask you first. So you can only keep 3. You can only keep 3. Let's make it bigger. Full screen that. There you go. You can only keep 3. Now, I approached this as, I'm going to keep 3 if I'm going into battle. That's how I approach this. That's how I approach it. Because I have my 3.
Specific characters or franchises?
No, these characters. It says you can only keep 3, so I'm assuming it just means the characters, not the franchises. That's what I'm assuming. Now franchises, that's even easier. Actually, that changes the dynamic a little bit for my choice.
If you want to just do characters, we can just do that. Because that's pretty easy for me too here.
Yeah.
So Snake Eyes, Raphael, and let's go with He-Man.
Okay, all right. We have a little crossover. I'm taking He-Man, definitely. If you're going into battle, I want the power of Grayskull at my back. I want
shit.
Yeah. Now I'm going to take Optimus, a giant robot who has the Matrix leadership on his side. He's got strategy. He's a tactician, and then I'm taking Lion-O.
No, that's fair. Lion-O's a bit of a badass, and that sight beyond sight shit.
Yeah, sort of omens. Listen, I love Snake Eyes, but he's still just a man. He's a ninja. He's a badass, but he's a man. And some of these are superhumans here. Most of them actually are.
Right, but you know who I'm definitely not taking into battle? Captain fucking Planet.
Captain fucking Planet. I knew it. Captain fucking Planet. Here's why you're not taking Captain Planet. Captain Planet has a time limit. He's gonna break apart into the rings like after 5 minutes. He has no stamina.
Too.
He is kind of gay, but he has no stamina.
You know what? Actually, I take that back. I'm not taking animated Captain Planet. If it was Don Cheadle Captain Planet, absolutely. Absolutely. He'd be frontline because everybody'd be a fucking tree.
All right, that's a good one. All right, Kratos is a good one. He goes with Egon, and Egon is an acceptable thing because Egon's got brain power.
Oh yeah, Egon's badass. He just don't
Egon's
think he can keep up necessarily on a battlefield with fucking Snake Eyes and Raphael.
Yeah,
and he certainly doesn't have the power of Grayskull.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I'm not taking Captain Planet. I'm not taking I forget this one's name from Silverhawks. What the hell does he do? He goes,
he's the fucking mascot of Silverhawks.
Yeah. Lone Star. Come on. No, I'm not taking Lone Star. No, he's got a gun and a horse that transforms into a bipedal horse and talk. No,
right.
He's yeah, and I got the power of the snake or the gorilla, whatever he calls upon. I don't actually. I don't know
down there. Some of these guys are like from some pretty obscure shit. Like I recognize some of their images, but not necessarily like what their names are and stuff. But the homeboy that's right down next to Raphael, I think, is from
Mask.
Is from Mask. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, I was like, okay, so they've got some cool toys, right? But essentially, if I want transforming fucking vehicles, I'm just gonna go with Optimus Prime because that's like having extra steps with this guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mask were great toys. I had a whole bunch of those. I never had what was essentially the DeLorean where the doors open. I never had that one. And what happened was when I was first given these as gifts, it was the leader, but it was the one where he came with the semi truck. And I hated that one. I was like, I don't like the semi truck. I wanted the flying car. So I had that one and a few others. This is battle, whatever. Go with these people with their bird wings. I hated this show. This is one of those early like Voltron and Robotech.
Oh yeah, I remember them. I just, like I said, I don't remember the name of the property.
It was one of those early crossovers that got butchered. I was never into it though. I didn't like it. Wait a minute. How would I tip my stewardess? First of all, I've never had a hot stewardess in my life.
Just the tip.
Never. Yeah, so they're not getting just the tip because they haven't been hot. and there's no Mile High Club happening with the behemoths that I was on planes with. This listen, when I flew in the 80s, I was too young to appreciate it. And by the time I was old enough, they started getting fat and ugly, and then there were dudes. So I was like, that ain't happening.
If you're in a plane with 2 aisles, do they have to have 2 fat waitresses to balance the weight load? One for each aisle.
No. Oh, I'm going to share this. Jed isn't here, but he told it live on stream so I can share this story. So just talking about fat on a plane. Jed traveled for the holidays on Saturday, and they flew. And he and Rachel got separated in their seats, so he was waiting for her up front. And he, when they were departing the plane or disembarking, there was a log jam, and he watched it. And we're talking beyond dermy fat chick was basically only able to walk 2 feet at a time down the plane aisle.
Yeah, orca fat.
And she had to stop literally, according to him, every few seconds to breathe. And people had to carry her bags off. And, dude, why? And he said when she got off the plane, it shook. And Rachel came up to him and said, "Did you feel that? Did the plane just shake?" And he's like, "Yes." And I'll tell you why. Because she didn't see it from her angle. So we're talking somebody so massive that when they got off a plane that is thousands of tons, and could carry lots of people, the thing
with excellent suspension.
Yes.
In the landing gear.
She shook the plane. Oh my goodness. Just eat a salad. I don't know. Just stop eating. Wire your jaw shut. It's terrible. All right. So Sleazy says Captain Planet, He-Man Prime. I don't respect Captain Planet. I hated that show so much as a kid. I watched it all too because it was just on. It was on before other things. That's how it worked. I
saw the Don Cheadle shit, right? The Funny or Die skits that they did a few years ago.
At least once.
So
I've seen at least once.
There were a series of them, and by the end of it, it's just Captain Planet, and he's dragging around the Heart Kid from South America like a fucking pet, and everybody else has been turned into trees because fuck people. It's really fucked up.
Heart. All right. I don't know what this is right here. I don't know what this one is. I should, but I don't. This little lizard looking dude. I should know what this is, but I don't.
Yeah, it looks vaguely familiar, but like I don't know. That could have been any number of things out of the 80s.
Yeah. The dude next to Captain Planet, I remember this one. They all had I remember the action figures.
I think I used to have some
little holograms on their chest, and you turned it. They also had stabs that had the holograms on them, and they empowered the body. It was one of those shows that never caught on, and it was iffy. Centurions, Man and Machine, Power, Extreme. That was always a fun one, but then again, without their exoskeletons, they're nothing. And they can mix and match, and that's just that's like the Air Force, dude. And that's all of them. Yeah, that's all of them. So I thought it would be fun.
Devil top right.
Yeah, Devil top right, top right hand corner. Yeah. Devil.
Yeah, no idea who that is.
Yeah, Devil. Just take your penicillin, Devil. It's the only way to get rid of foodborne dermates.
I think you missed that part.
Dude, wait. What do you mean no stamina? What about listen? They all have long term. He-Man doesn't need to fight long. He's He-Man. He has to fight over quickly. It's the power of Grayskull. And Snake Eyes has stamina. Raphael, as long as he has pizza, he's good to go. Optimus has long battles. Tiger Sharks?
I do kind of remember that. Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's. I'm drawing a complete blank spot on that one.
They were like, you know how the Thundercats are cat people? These were like shark people.
Yeah. And I remember street sharks, but I don't remember.
That was that was the cash grab aimed at capitalizing on the Ninja Turtles, if I remember right.
Yeah. I mean, this list could have been way bigger because there were so many properties in the 80s that were one and done, and they had like those single seasons. But back then, a single season was sometimes 40 episodes because that's how they worked back in the day. They just signed these mega deals and for toys because it was always paired with a toy, and they just cranked all that stuff out and hoped they made it back in toy sales. And a lot of them failed.
You know what's funny is like almost all of these characters have that in common. Like their whole franchises are basically commercials for toys, right? And always have been. Like He-Man in particular, the Transformers in particular. Those were cartoons that were designed to tell stories that would get kids interested in buying already existent like toy lines. What's funny to me is that and like G.I. Joe, that toy franchise has been around since the 60s. But there's a couple on here that don't. Like obviously Captain Planet was like a whole, acid rain coming through the hole in the ozone layer kind of. Yeah. So that was just propagandic messaging. But with like Ninja Turtles and the real Ghostbusters, both of those come from properties that were initially targeted at adults. Like the original Ninja Turtle comics are black and white, and the foot soldiers are not robots, and they die horribly. A lot.
I mean, I didn't read the original black and white. I picked it up when they did the reboot, and it was color. But that was when they all had when they were all red with their coloring. There was no color differentiation.
And the Ghostbusters, obviously, I mean, the very first iteration of that property is the movie Ghostbusters, and Dan Aykroyd gets a blowjob from a ghost.
Yes, he did. Well, it's a dream. It's a dream. It didn't really happen.
It's on screen, though. I'm saying it wasn't targeted at kids.
Yeah. It's and but here's the thing: if you go down all of these, the most successful ones were, of course, tied to either their longevity as long-term brands or their toys. Because Silverhawks, same vein as Thundercats, but not quite as successful as Thundercats, but still awesome. Silverhawks was cool. They just didn't have longevity. Brave Star toy line failed, masterfully failed. Transformers is Transformers. Next to G.I. Joe and Star Wars, the biggest toy line of the 80s. Those are the three mega toy lines. G.I. Joe, Transformers, and Star Wars. Those were the toy lines. Those were what everybody had. So Transformers became more than the toys eventually.
Yeah, eventually. And, He-Man did really, really, really well at that same time period. They were very popular and very easy to find at the time. They were very common toys to see. Kratos, no, Batman the Animated Series started in 1992, dude.
Yeah.
It wasn't the 80s. It was close, but yeah.
Yeah. It was close. It was close. But yeah, so Transformers transcended. I don't know who this dude is, and that speaks for this. Tiger Heart Sharks didn't. The Thundercats toys were good, but people liked the show, not the toys in the end. The toys were not, although Thunder Tank was cool. The Thunder Tank was cool. I never had the Thunder Tank. Actually, I never had any Thundercat toys. I knew a creepy kid who had them. And I
had some of them. Are you talking about me? I was a little creepy.
But I didn't know you back then, so no, I'm not talking about you.
No, I had a number of them. I had I had Lionel's power glove and the sword that came with it. I had Lionel himself. I had Panthro. I had Mumra.
I take that back. I did have. I had a sword of Omens. I didn't have. Let me tell you. I didn't have any action figures. They never made it on the list of buy me these. But I did have the best sword of Omens. I've told this story before. I had the one made of super hard plastic that didn't wobble when you swang it. And if you put the triple D batteries into the hilt, you could turn it on and the Eye of Thundera would light up. And it was awesome, but it lost against the tree in the front yard many times. I went through 2 of them.
Yeah, that'll do it.
all my swords lost against that tree. Whacking it.
You and I had very different childhoods because I fucked up some blades on trees too, but they were all very real.
No, yeah, I know. No. It would be another years before I was given, I was allowed a knife and sword collection, a real one. That was years and years later. My toy sword collection was great though.
Yeah, no, my dad wouldn't hear of me not having a knife on me at any, just cuz.
My Centurions, again, they were mid toys and they didn't really take off. You already mentioned the He-Man toy line was fantastic. That was great, a lot of fun. I had so many of those as well. These guys, their toy line failed. Captain America didn't really have Captain Planet didn't have much of a toy line. Nobody cared. Captain Planet, we all hated it. Sorry.
I'm not gonna buy an action figure of the smug little fucking South American kid who goes heart. That's not gonna happen.
I thought he was Indian.
No, I think that there's one of the guys.
All right. Dude was fire.
South America.
Dude was the ginger. The ginger from America was fire.
Yes.
The Russian chick was wind. The blonde Russian chick was wind. The Asian chick was water.
Yes. The black guy was earth.
The black African guy was earth. And I thought I thought he was Indian, not South American. I thought he was Indian.
I'm pretty sure he's from South America, dude. Like Caracas or something.
Okay. Yeah. Wait a minute. You're saying I don't have stamina? I'm a 26-hour man, god damn it. I got stamina. I'm a 26-hour man.
You hear that, ladies?
I got stamina for day. I got stamina for over a day.
He's got more than enough stamina to make up for that lack of girth.
Oh. You can't handle my girth.
I used to actually say that to something I stole from an old buddy of mine. As I'd say that to chicks, I'd be like, "You couldn't handle both inches," because that way they're pleasantly surprised, right, and not disappointed at all.
Set that bar low. Ghostbusters. The toy line was actually pretty crap. It wasn't a good toy line. I had a couple of them. I had a Venkman, and I had some of the ghosts, and I had some of the I had the toy pop guns, but I never had a proton pack. Always wanted a proton pack, never had one. But the show was such a massive hit. Everybody loved the show, and it still holds up.
Yeah, it does. I actually watched it episodes because a lot of them are free on YouTube right now. I mean, they're just up there. Yeah. And I watched one because did you know that they did an H.P. Lovecraft episode?
I think somewhere in the back of my head, yes.
I couldn't believe that shit. So the other day I heard about it and I was like, well, I wonder on YouTube, and it was, and I watched it and I was like, yeah, this doesn't belong in a kid's show.
Listen, when you're a kid and they broke out Sam Hain and the Sandman creeped me the F out as a kid.
They should. They should creep you out as a kid. One of them is about dying in your sleep, and the other one is the Lord of the Dead. He drags people. He's the whole reason that we wear masks on Halloween. I mean, so they don't think we're one. Yeah.
The Sandman's voice going, "I will get you. I will make you sleep." It's a creepy ass voice, and they only win that because they planted the subliminal message in Janine's brain that if she fell asleep to dream she was a Ghostbuster, so that she'd wake up and they'd have a little extra firepower there to help out. So that's the only reason. That's the only way to beat the Sandman the first time. And then every time Sam Hain came around, that was a banger of an episode because shit went bad real fast. Those are great. That was such a good show. I loved it. Like I said,
you're right about the toys, though. The toys were, at least the main character toys weren't, anything special to write home about. But some of the ghost toys, some of the more elaborate, like monsters and ghosts and stuff they made toys out of, were actually really cool and innovative.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember the ghost ones. I just remember the main action figures that came with a couple of tiny ghosts, and it was just kind of lame because there's nothing to do unless you bought Ecto, unless you bought all the ghosts. You couldn't really play with them. Well, like I said, the cooler part of the toy line of the Ghostbusters was the actual put a proton pack on your back, the toy proton pack. There was another one that came with these big tube styrofoam or foam bullets, and it had a pump action thing, and you could put them.
Yeah, they were like early Nerf guns.
Yeah, and I had that one. That's the one I had. And I used to, when I would play Ghostbusters, I pretend it was just like this bazooka proton pack. And I had good old fashioned building blocks, the wood square blocks. And that's what I would throw out as my trap because it was square like a trap. It's like, I got my trap, and I throw it out there.
I mean, kids today, they got everything handed to them, man. We had to make our own fun, and we had to make do with what we had. And kids before us had it even harder.
Yeah.
They had a can that they kicked in the road.
I mean, when all my eventual toy swords broke, and they did, and I had none left, I went to croquet mallet sticks because they were a decent length to be a sword. So I would basically unscrew the mallet half and then just have this big wooden stick that I'd go around smacking shit with. Or if I wanted to have a bow staff, I'd take the long wooden handle attached to the push broom in the house and I'd unscrew that shit. And one time I unscrewed it and I didn't put it back and nobody noticed. So for years, I just had this, I'm just walking around the house with my semi-real bow staff, swinging that shit around, hoping I don't break anything or brain myself. So yeah, you may do with whatever you could find back in the day.
Devil, dude, you're absolutely right. It is.
Hey, listen, we are not revisiting that story. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Listen. At one point, I even remember the original Super Soakers, like the first round, the first generations, and one of them had this giant air pressure ball on the back of it. So once I had finally broke, I actually took that off. And when the bow staff was tired of being a bow staff, I would basically take that and I would screw it onto the top, and then it was a magic staff because it looked like it had it looked like it had basically a crystal on top of it. I was like, yes, now I am mage. I missed those days. They were fun. All right, but this was good. Of course, we are GI Joe. It's GI Joe. I mean, I get a lot of GI Joe on my Twitter timeline now because a few times. Have you seen the ones where the guy shows a particular line of the GI Joe action figure releases and says, "How many did you have?" And I replied to a few, basically saying 17, 15, 22, because I realized, wow, I actually had a lot. And now I get all this GI Joe stuff on my timeline for action figures constantly because I replied to those.
I had a fair. I didn't have a lot of GI Joes. I did have a couple of them, but I had this buddy when I was in grade school who had like everything. He had all the vehicles. He had
that kid, dude.
All the action figures and shit. And so we did. And his parents had money, right? So when he broke a toy, they just bought him a new one. When I broke one, I got a beating and no replacement. So
no, I never got replacements. No. I see. Even though I had them all. When something broke, it stayed broke. There was no replacement.
Yeah,
it stayed broke. That was what that didn't happen. But I mean,
we played rough with his shit because of that. Because it was just we could, and they would just buy him new shit. Like racing vehicles that were overloaded with characters off the top of the staircase into the fucking hardwood basement. Kind of shit, or sticking like black cats in between the torso and the waistband.
The worst I did was I used to, if it was a figure I didn't use a lot, I would take the face and I put it up against a light bulb and melt his face a little bit, and he'd be scarred, or stuff like that to create battle damage. But I had the good stuff. I mean, I had the Havoc. This was one of my crown jewels. This thing, the mobile base, I loved. This was my favorite one. I loved this thing. It was so cool. It was it was a fun one. I've said this before. I was the kid with the flag. I had the USS flag. I was that kid. I had a generous mom. What can I say? I never even asked for it. It just showed up. I didn't even ask for the aircraft carrier. It just showed up one day. And I was just like, and I know I've told the story too. But then I made the mistake of building it in my bedroom. And we could never get it out the door. So the flag was always out to sea. It was always out to sea. I also had the Terradrome. I was the kid with the Terradrome. I was the kid with the General. I was the kid. I had the Warthog with Slaughter's Marauders. The Warthog was great. That was the vehicle I used for transporting people from out the combat back to the flag, that they would just go out to sea. So I had that. And I was so much fun. GI Joe toys were great. I loved them. But mine got beat to shit. There were pieces missing, missiles missing, everything was broken. Because I played hard with toys. I didn't blow them up like you blew them up, but I just played hard with them. They didn't. I remember the Python Patrol. This thing, I had the original and the Python Patrol one. Now here's a better shot of the mobile command center. This thing was so cool.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the larger or the cooler large play sets of that time period. The only one I ever had wasn't even GI Joe. It was the Castle play set from Voltron.
Oh, I
got that at a goddamn garage sale. So like half of the accessories were missing.
Yep. I had Castle Alliance because that was one that went with what I considered the lesser Voltron. I didn't realize at the time that I had asked for the lesser of the Voltron releases, because that's the big plastic one where you put the action figures in the cockpits. That one was weak. I should have asked for the diecast one. I should have asked for the diecast one.
Yeah, you remember when Transformers were fucking hard ass metal?
Mm-hmm. Yep, dude. I had OG Optimus. I had original release Optimus.
I had original release Grimlock.
Ooh, I had the Triceratops. I forget his name all of a sudden. Slag was the brawn. Oh no, he was Slag. Slag was the Triceratops. Yeah, I had Slag, and I think I had one more, but I never had a Grimlock, and that always ate at me. Oh yeah, White Bear too. Yeah, the rubber band brakes on the Joes. Some of them were bifurcated, and they were bodies on the battlefield.
Yeah.
They banned their stuff.
Though it was if your parents allowed you to have like access to tools, if you had a Phillips head screwdriver and like a rubber band, you could easily fix that too.
I was not skilled enough to do that as an 8-year-old. That wasn't happening. I mean, I tried. I think it was my first dial tone. He's the first one that suffered the break. Eventually, I got the I think it was called the Panther Squad, whatever that they re-released. I think I got dial tone that, but my original dial tone, he's the first one that were broke, and I saw the hook and the rubber band, and I thought I could. Well, he didn't so much break the rubber; it came loose, the first one, and I thought I could fix it, but I never could. I always tried, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, you can. You just got to take the torso apart because it's 2 pieces held together by a single screw. Once you do that, then you just like hook the rubber band over the pit where the screw goes through, and then you screw it back together. And it works pretty well. But I was allowed to have tools at that age because, like I said, my dad was very big into me being able to, fend for myself, and also we didn't have a membership at the local country club, so we had to do it ourselves.
I was too young. It never occurred to me to look into I didn't realize that there was a screw inside the hole in the back where you put the backpack on. Never occurred to me there was a screw in there. I can say that honestly. Didn't occur to me that there was a screw in there. So I never even would have thought to take it apart. See that
I was in the habit of taking apart most of my toys at some point. So
see, well, mine fell apart again through rough play. There was another one I saw today. There was the long vehicle one. Let's see if it's going to show up here for the Joe side. Oh yeah, I eventually had the killer whale. I had that eventually. That I got one of those eventually. That was great. Finally had that. I eventually got a Sky Striker, but it was when they re-released it where it was all black. That's when I finally got a Sky Striker because I missed the original release. I didn't start picking up until G.I. Joe's to like the 88, 89 releases when basically the first line that had like General Hawk and Dial Tone and Beachhead. I missed those because one of my regrets ever, I never had a Duke. I never had a Duke action figure. And when they re-released him as part of the Panther Patrol or whatever it was, he had brown hair. And I said to myself, I had an option of, I thought, I don't want Duke with brown hair. I want real Duke. I want real Duke. I don't want brown hair Duke. So I turned it down. And I got all the other ones for that squad. I'm looking for it. But there was that big ass one that had essentially two giant missiles on the back. Oh, I never had this one because I never had Cover Girl. Never had Cover Girl in this one because she came with that one. There it is. There's the General. I had the General. General was cool. That was a good one. I'm still looking. Where is it? It's got to be in here. I don't remember what it's called. It was the big one that had 2 giant missiles on it, and that one didn't last long in terms of being in one piece. Oh, there's a collection. There's a Tomahawk. Okay, this is real. Excuse me. The propellers on the Tomahawk didn't last a day.
They were so fucking on all of the things that had propellers, but yeah, that one in particular, they were all so fucking flimsy.
Didn't last a day. Oh, the Night Raven. My Night Raven was so beat to hell. But you know what else? But here's where again I went a step further. Whenever I would see a cartoon that had a guitar in it, I would turn my Night Raven into a guitar because it was the perfect size for a little kid. It's basically guitar shape. So whenever I'm pretending to play a guitar, I would grab the Night Raven and be like, "Yeah, it's my guitar."
Yeah, that one. So that one, and between that and the X-Jet from X-Men, they're the whole reason that I actually looked into what an SR-71 Blackbird actually is. When I was a kid, and got me excited about the real plane that those two things are based on.
Hydrofoil. The hydrofoil was cool, but again, certain parts of it didn't last very long, very flimsy. Especially the foil of the hydrofoil that didn't last long. What else we got here? Looking, there it is. This thing. I had this thing. I don't know when I remember having it. I don't know what happened to this. I don't remember it having this gun on the back. That must not have lasted 5 minutes in what I was doing because I do not remember this massive gun on the rear. I remember the missiles. The missiles I remember. but this thing did not last. Whatever the gun was in the back there, didn't last at all. I don't remember that. I don't remember having the gun at all. Not at all. That's weird. Normally, I remember that shit. You know what? It must have broke really fast and then disappeared in the mess, never to be seen again. Never to be seen again. God, these took Armadillo. Did he come with it? I don't remember him. Maybe this is a re-release later on. Maybe the one I have didn't have that on it. No, they must have. Either way, that's the one I was trying to look at. Let's see if they have it. I want to see it. I don't want to type it in without getting it. I want to see if they have a Terradrome come up. Terradrome was great. Oh man, it would have been cool if they'd actually had this. They never made a Cobra Mothership. I know there was either a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo to try and make this, and I remember it failing a couple years ago. Cobra Mothership would have been cool. They never made that. You know, I probably would have ended up in my collection too. Busted all to hell. We're getting starting repeats here, but yeah, G.I. Joe. It was a fantastic thing, and I regret. Well, it wasn't my choice. At one point, this thing. I had this thing. This thing.
I think I did too.
This thing was weird. I didn't use it much because in the end, I didn't like it. I didn't like it very much in the end.
I think it was supposed to be some kind of amphibious submersible, right?
Yeah. I had that alongside like Destro's when he went golden helmet, and he had that entire squad. Here's the no, that's not it. That's something different. Sky Striker. That's not the one I had. Oh wait, wait. No, that's not it. The Sky Striker I had was the black re-release. Damn. All right, I could go down. Oh, there she is. There she is. The flag. The flag was glorious. Also got beat to hell. And then I ripped it apart. I mean, if I ever talk to some of the more larger channels that love G.I. Joe and our sphere, and I tell the story of what I did to my flag one day when I got old enough and I just wanted it out of my room. I ripped it.
Crucify
apart.
You.
Yes. I ripped it to pieces. I just tore it apart. Oh, this thing. I didn't even know this existed. The space shuttle
seems like a bit much.
It was bigger than the flag, dude. It was gigantic. I didn't know this existed. So I never asked for it. And this thing would have been wild to have. That would have been wild. Look how big that is compared to that kid, dude. Look at that. That thing was huge. That was huge. Biggest thing I had was the flag. Yeah, that was wow. Yeah,
it was a wild time to be alive, though, because all of the stuff that we were playing with back then, nobody had any idea that this would become like a collectible economy.
Oh, God.
You know, it wasn't a thing yet.
I mean, listen, the amount of times I've moved in my life, all these things would not have been able to travel with me.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a point where all my massive G.I. Joe figure collection, we're talking over 100 action figures, they ended up in a trash bag in a supply closet in a house, and then my mom just threw them out.
Yep.
She did it on. She didn't do it by accident. She did it on purpose.
Oh yeah, they always tell you that
no.
Little Fido went up to a farm upstate to run free, but that's never the truth.
She doesn't lie to me. No, she did it on purpose. She said, "No, yeah, I threw them out. You were done with them." She also gave away my Transformers to another kid in school's little brother. Now I okayed that one, and I regret it.
Yeah,
I regretted it 5 minutes later. But
sure, but at least it went to somebody who was going to get some joy out of it instead of a landfill.
Yeah. So my G.I. Joe collection got thrown out. I managed to hold on to my Star Wars collection until the bitter end, until about, I don't know, I think it was 03, 04 when I finally had to get rid of them because another move had to happen. and they had been in a storage unit in the place we were living in, and we had no place else to store them or put them, so they went away.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks. It sucks.
It does. I only had a couple of collections that had anything in it that were actually worth anything. My dad tried to get me into stamps and baseball cards and that sort of thing, and then he found out I like comics, and that became a thing for a while. My grandmother bought me the entire Franklin Mint Library collection in like 1983, which were all leather bound books with gold leaf engraved on them or embossed on them and gold leaf edging the pages. I mean, very, very expensive, like vellum paper. And but like almost all of that has either been destroyed or lost or stolen over the years.
I mean, yeah. And as much as I love looking at this, it does pain me to know that with better life choices, I might have been able to retain all this stuff. And then I'd be, even though now, if I still had this stuff, it wouldn't be worth anything because I played with my stuff as a kid, like I said. So all this stuff was just falling apart. But that means they were loved every minute. And it just reminds you, because we're looking at this stuff and Christmas is in 24 hours now. And this is what Christmas morning was like. I got this kind of stuff for like the first, quarter of my life. This is what I got: Transformers, Star Wars, G.I. Joe, other stuff. This Ninja Turtles. This is what I got on Christmas morning. And then it slowly transitioned to video games. I get older, but this was it, and it was great. This is what it was. This is why being a kid back then, it was so much fun, because the toys were great. And because we got to be kids, we got to play with this stuff, got to enjoy it. And what are toys anymore? What are they?
Well, they're made from cheap materials. And usually they're mass produced so that there's my ex-wife got my youngest kid involved in this toy line called I think they called them LOL dolls or whatever. And they're these little, dolls that are shaped like babies with by the way, with molded genitalia on them, which is fucked up. But they also have they dress like hood rats, like hookers and pimps and that kind of thing, and gangbangers and all this shit. And it's supposed to be this real, like this. The messaging is super fucked up, but they're all made from the same molds. You have your boy dolls and your girl dolls, and every one of them looks exactly the same until you accessorize them.
Those are the toys. I mean, back to this. I remember when there it is, the Destro's Iron Grenadiers. When they did that re-release, this was awesome, because I didn't have an original Destro. This was the first time I was able to get my hands on a Destro, and this was so cool because he had this cool little ship that he came with, and this is what we had, these things, and they were fun. And there was no agenda in a G.I. Joe toy, or a Transformer, or a Star Wars toy, or a He-Man, except capitalism. We want your money, and it was an agreement that everybody was in on. The parents knew that they were going to pay the money. The kids knew they were going to get a gift if they were good, and the corporation was ready to supply the gift for the money. And everybody was okay with that arrangement, because all parties won. Corporation got their money, the parents got to make the kid happy, and the kid was happy. Everybody won. Yeah. Everybody won.
I mean, my dad thankfully had a different view on this, but my mother didn't want me having anything like this, or like squirt guns or rubber band guns or any of that kind of thing, because she figured that all of the stuff that was marketed to boys in the 80s glorified violence.
Yeah, my house, it was I once I got old enough, I quickly graduated to learning how to use real guns. So that's where it went in my house. It was like, okay, you're old enough, time to learn how to properly learn respect for firearms, kid.
Yeah, like I said, my dad had different views on that shit. I was shooting with him when I was 5.
Oh man, I see a Globulus right here. I remember when I got my Globulus pack with Nemesis Enforcer and a Cobra Law Trooper. when they came out, the movie hadn't come out yet, so they released it before the movie. So I
That's
had
the half
no
snake
idea.
dude, right?
Yeah, that's a lot. Played voiced by Burgess Meredith in the movie. When that came out, I had no idea his importance. And of course, then the movie comes out, and it's like, oh shit, Globulus is massively important. So what I did then is, you remember Photon and Laser Tag, the two different ones?
Yeah.
I didn't get Laser Tag. I had Photon, and one of the things that came with the Photon set was given to me was like this little mobile thing that had reflectors on it. You could shoot it and it would reflect back at you. Anyway, I soon got bored with that, but it was a little sphere. But because the Globulus pack with Nemesis Enforcer and the Cobra Law Trooper, who came with that badass axe right there, it didn't come with the globe, the sphere that he sits in, that he's attached to for most of the movie. So what I did is this thing was basically a hollow sphere. So I used to stick him in that, and that was his floating sphere thing that he would float around in, because it was the best I could do. And it worked. I was happy. I loved it. To me, though, the G.I. Joes, I started to kind of get away from it. Of course, I got older. But when they started to release, and I've been seeing them thrown about on the, because the tweets I still get, when they started having everything being fired from their guns, like, oh, put the missile in, push the button, it'll fire. That's when I got out, because I didn't like that. Because first of all, those missiles were going to get lost anyway. What's the point? But I didn't like that at all. Yeah, Kratos, you're right. Current day Transformers toys are boosters. Let's throw those in there. Let's bring up the Transformers toys, because Transformers toys were great. Let's put in 1980s.
Yeah.
80s.
Well, there was like, I don't think it was first gen. I think it was second gen Optimus Prime was die-cast metal. The actual robot was die-cast metal. The trailer that he came with, because he was a semi-truck, was like the first, I think, full-on playset that came out for those. Yeah.
This isn't the
right
original. That's this is not the original. That's the second one. Where let me see, they bring up look at that. Oh man.
That's kind of sketchy.
That is so, now that SDF-1 has seen some battle. It's seen some battle. And that's the die cast. That's the die cast Voltron. That was the good one. That's the one I wish I had. Here's the original Optimus right there. That's the one I had. That came in this box right here. That's the original Optimus. That's the one I had. That was great. That was good. The Transformers were great. I had a varied collection. It was varied. Some ones I didn't get till later in life. Like, I didn't have the Constructicons till later in life. Well, it's great. So I was in high school when they did a re-release, and the Sam's Club at the time is what we went to. They had all 6 Constructicons in a pack, and I said, shit, I'm buying this right now. It's gonna be great. And I bought it, and that night when I was trying to put together, I broke one of them. I'm like 15, and I'm sitting there, and I should know better, and I was trying to force it in there, and I freaking broke it. And those Constructicons were broken forever. It pissed me off so bad.
They'll do that. When Devastator originally came out, it came out as just the Constructicons. You didn't have, if you didn't have all of them, and you had to buy them separately originally.
Separately, yep.
Then you didn't get Devastator.
Oh man! All right, I had the Rescue Cons, or the Rescue Bots. I had the Rescue Bots. This is one of my. I had several combiners. I had that one. Do they have Superior on here?
Yeah, but let's be real. The only one that matters is Devastator.
Well, no. Listen, the aerial bot to Superior. He was goated. Superior was awesome. Oh man. Oh, Ultra Magnus, and that's an original Soundwave.
I used to have one of those.
I had one.
You know what was fun about that is that you could actually put the tape Decepticons inside him. I mean, it wouldn't play nothing, but
no, yeah. I know I had my Laserbeak, but he got lost somewhere. But I remember my Soundwave he had a gimpy arm that wouldn't move right because it was so old. But, oh man, yeah, original sound, and that was like oh man, I held on that for so long. Ultra Magnus. What I loved. Oh, go ahead.
I think the original Soundwave, didn't it come with Ravage and Laserbeak?
I only had one. I only had Laserbeak. I didn't have Ravage or Rumble. That back then, it's like, hey, kids, you got to buy those separately. You got to buy that separately. Now, Ultra Magnus was interesting because, of course, the original Ultra Magnus kind of sucked because he wasn't mobile. Because essentially, it was a white Optimus Prime, the same original Prime you got, and you put them together to make this block Ultra Magnus, which didn't move, and it sucked. But what I did then is, because the Optimus Prime was white, I would replay the Return of Optimus Prime when the infectious red disease was spreading, and they had to code him in white paint. So then I'd have that version run around when I replay that one. Oh man, the Galvatron release. I didn't have a Megatron. I did not have an original Megatron, but I did get Galvatron. And when he was the wrong color, man, that was frustrating. When he didn't match the show, because I am a stickler for things looking the way they're supposed to look, and he did not look. Now the cannon, this orange plastic thing for his arm cannon, yeah, that disappeared within a week. I don't know what happened to that. It was gone. Don't know at all. But I remember original Galvatron, not the right color. I still had them though. Let's keep going. What else?
I mean,
oh man,
if you're a stickler for accuracy, though, like how did you deal with the fact that the transformed Megatron doesn't fit in Starscream's cockpit? They're the same size.
Yeah. Everything, you had to suspend disbelief on that, where everything transformed and was the same size and go down. Now the Predacons, they were cool. Making Predacus. I remember I got the Predacons and I couldn't do it. And my cousin, we were visiting my grandma in Fort Lauderdale, and my cousin had to put the Predacons together for me for the first time and show me how to do it. And when he put Predaking together, I was like, oh man, Predaking's awesome. Predaking was a good one. I'm going to say right now, fuck you, Hot Rod. Fuck you, Rodimus. You killed Optimus. Hot Rod killed Optimus. Fuck Hot Rod and fuck Rodimus Prime. Yep, I said it. I don't take it back. I never take it back. Whenever I say it. These were great. Was that old? No, that's not is that original Megatron? Yeah. I think that's original Megatron. Now, I knew a friend who had original Megatron, and I didn't steal it from him. Actually, he wasn't a friend. I could have stolen from him and felt no guilt. I remember that kid wasn't a friend. That kid was a dick. Never had a Starscream. Never had a Starscream or any of the Jets, actually. I never had any of the Jets. Let's get a better picture. Oh, no, these are... there's Astro Train. Yeah, I never had any of the Jets. Because here's the thing. When it came to my Transformers collection, it was kind of out of my hands. My mom just kind of bought them for me. I never actually said, buy me this. She was just going to buy me Transformers. Oh, I lost him. I looked away and I realized Samuel wasn't even there. 72 pictures better. Okay, hang on a second, Kratos. Let's wait till Samuel comes back. There's the aerial bots. No, that's not the aerial bots. No, it's not the aerial bots. I always found this one so fascinating. This guy right here, he's basically a Veritech fighter ripoff, and I'm so sorry I never had that because it would have been a ghetto Veritech fighter for me because I never had Robotech toys. That always got me. All right. Let's let me go check Twitter real quick. What did you send me? Oh no, that's for the second half of the show where we're going to be nerding out over something else. Where'd everything go? Here we go. Okay. What did you send me? Oh, damn, Kratos, is that your shelf right now? Oh, that's nice. That's respectable, dude. That's nice. I wish I still had all my old stuff. I really do. That's cool. Oh, you got a Liger. What Liger is that? What Liger is that on the top shelf in the second picture? That's not a Liger I'm familiar with.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Kratos sent me a couple of pictures of his stuff. Well, yeah. Kratos, what is that Liger on the top shelf? Because that doesn't look like a Liger I know from Zoids. I don't know what that one is. I'd show up, but then I'd be showing my my DMs, so I can't show these completely. But yeah, Kratos, that's very cool, man. I wish I still had that stuff. One of these days, I'd love to, get back to having collections like that. Places to put it. I need places to put stuff is the thing, and also I'm kind of committed to not acquiring anything before I move again. So it's an easier move. So I was saying, where's Love Samuel? This guy always got me. I don't even know his name. He's basically a Veritech fighter they made into a Transformer.
Hmm. And
I hate that I never had it because I never had a Veritech fighter. That's one of the things I never had. I never had a Veritech fighter. And when I move, and I get a real office, a real studio, one of the things I want to have on display is Skull One. I want Skull One so bad because that
I
dream vehicle for me.
I saw not that long ago for the first time because I didn't know this was a thing back in the day. I'm assuming it was a thing back in the day, but the Unicron.
This one?
Yeah. No, not that one. The one right below it, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that was way later.
Is that later?
This is like something. It says 1980s. I never knew there was a Unicron. I never.
Yeah, I don't think most of us didn't like this. This started making the rounds at like cons and stuff a couple of years ago. It's the first time I ever saw it.
Jeez, it says 1980s G1. Well, it might just be based on the 1980s. I don't know if that's the real thing. There was a Unicron action figure, but I've seen it. It looked like dog shit. The biggest Transformer I had was Scorponok. That was the biggest one I had. I didn't have Metroplex. I had Scorponok because I didn't even ask for it because again, this is one of the things. It was that year in Christmas, and you see, during those days, we would go to the homestead in the Blue Mountains in Virginia for Christmas, and my parents they'd buy everything ahead of time and keep it in my closet. And that was the point where I suddenly realized there was the game. Can I go look around stuff? And I walked into. Actually, no. This is pregame. I still believed in Santa at this point. I was still holding on to the dream. And I walked into their closet in their bedroom, and there was this big ass bag of Toys R Us toys. It said Toys R Us, and in it, I remember seeing Scorponok. And at that moment, I thought, how are my presents here? We're still weeks away from Christmas. And bless my mom, she spun a tale. They were helping Santa. She tried to keep the dream. She tried to keep it alive as long as she could, because it was a pleasant fantasy. After that, it kind of fell apart. They had to tell me the truth. But I remember walking in, and there was Scorponok, and that's the beginning. That was the Headmaster saga and stuff like that. That was the biggest one I ever had, though. That was the biggest Transformer I ever had, and this thing. I don't think this existed when we were kids.
I could have sworn it didn't, but there's people saying that it's been around forever. It was just so rare that people wouldn't let it out of their vaults or whatever. But I'm just like, if it was around that long, somebody would have shown pictures or something, because like I said, we had no idea there was going to be any kind of collection culture down the road. At the time, we would have been playing with that shit hard.
Oh yeah. Oh please, yeah. I mean, dude, my aerial bots, they were busted all to hell. My Stunticons, they were busted all to hell. But I loved them. Superion was he was my favorite combiner. And then they started making, and then they started getting a little cheesy and cheap towards the end.
Yeah, well, they only had to compete with the fucking GoBots, man.
GoBots. I had a couple GoBots too. I feel sorry for the kids who asked for Transformers and got GoBots. I feel sorry for those kids.
I was one of them.
Oh man, see, I didn't have most of these G1 guys, because I had a few G1 stuff, but my collection was mostly season G1 Part 2, where Rodimus took over, and a lot of stuff like that, and everything after that was like the bulk of my collection. Like I said, of course, I had an original Optimus, had a Soundwave, so obviously I was being gifted these things up to a point, but I didn't have like the original crew of the Transformers, Autobots, and Decepticons. I didn't have any of those guys. But man, these were glorious. These were glorious. I never had Omega Supreme. I knew a kid who had Omega Supreme, but I never had Omega Supreme. Never had him. That's not even the original one. This is the original one right here. That's the original Omega Supreme. Right there.
Mm-hmm.
He was so dinky looking.
The show like he Megalon looked cool. From the Godzilla franchise.
Yeah, he looked cool in the show. He didn't look like this. This is a modern day version of Omega Supreme. It looks badass. But like this is the one that existed when I was a kid, and it was not as cool. It wasn't as cool. So I didn't ask for it because it just wasn't cool to me. Oh, what's this over here? There's Scorponok. Right. It's a crap picture though. Let's get it over here. Yeah, there's Scorponok. Metro. Oh, I never had a Metroplex. He was way bigger than Scorponok. But yeah, Scorponok was cool. You know why Scorponok was cool? Because of course he could transform the robot, but then again, his scorpion body made for a great Robeast to fight Voltron. Fantastic Robeast.
Sure. I was more familiar with him from the Marvel Transformers comics. Because there's a whole storyline where he takes over control of the Decepticons with like an iron fist.
This one was just a city from the Headmaster saga controlled by the dude who was the evil Headmaster guy. I had Scorponok, I had this lion wolf one in the middle, and I had this dude right here. Those are the ones I had. I didn't have any of the other ones. I didn't have the T-Rex thing. I forget what this one was called. Didn't have that one. I see some Dinobots in there. Oh man!
Did you ever end up with any of the Pretenders, the Pretendicons, or whatever they call them?
No, I did not have Pretendicons.
I had a bunch of those fucking things because they were, I don't know, they were all the fad at the time, I guess. But the part about them, I mean, yeah, they had these cool shells that could act as like their own, action figure or whatever. You could only move the fucking arms on them because they, you had to break them open to reveal the robot inside. But the problem with the robots was not only were they half the size of the shells, but they didn't transform into anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, lore wise, they're not like technically Transformers. They're robots that hide in like fleshy, like biological suits, so that they can pass undetected. Except they all look like big ass aliens with huge laser guns. But whatever.
Yeah. Here's the original Soundwaves transformed. The legs or whatnot worked. It wasn't the arm now. It was his legs were gimpy and he couldn't stand after a certain point. That's what I remember now. Looking at it, I couldn't remember. Good night, Legatus, man. As always, thanks for hanging out, dude. We're not going to go for too long. I got one more nerdy thing we're going to look at that I know you're going to be happy to see because we're almost there. But let's look at this a couple more seconds here. Looking for a couple more things that I remember, and then we'll shut it down.
Yeah, wait for me to finish. I'm almost there. Soundwave just does it for me.
Yeah. Hey, man. Soundwave was loyal.
He was my favorite fucking Decepticon because he wasn't just loyal, but the dude was a straight up sociopath. Like he was evil as a motherfucker. Like the other Decepticons, even Scorponok at one point, were afraid of this guy.
You know what? I never had a Shockwave. I knew a friend who had a Shockwave, but I never had a Shockwave because Shockwave didn't get a lot of play in the show early on. He was always on Cybertron, manning the other end of the space bridge. Never used him a lot. Although I heard, apparently somebody once told me in the comics, Shockwave was just like this evil badass in the comics. Oh, here's a shot of the Dinobots.
Yeah.
I had Slag, and I think I had the Stegosaurus one. I don't remember his name anymore, but I never had a Grimlock.
I had Swoop, and I had the Brontosaurus.
I had Swoop and I had Slag. That's who I had. I had Swoop and I had Slag. That's who I had. Swoop and Slag.
I had the Bronto as well as Grimlock, but those are the only two I ever got.
One of the things,
of course, Grimlock was cool as fuck. So,
Grimlock was Grimlock, dude. Me, Grimlock. I mean, I was into Here's the thing: my mom got me Slag because I was into Triceratops as a kid. That was my favorite dinosaur, so that's why she got me Slag. It was not, and of course now, retrospect, it'd be like, man, I want Grimlock. I don't want Slag. I want Grimlock. Yeah. But I remember when the Dinobots got introduced in the show. They were introduced as the way to fight Devastator. And the original release of the Dinobots, they were gigantic. They were huge when they transformed into dinosaur mode. And then as the years go on, they shrink down to normal size and they weren't huge anymore. That always got me.
Yeah.
Always pissed me off.
I used to have this storybook for 8 to 10-year-olds or whatever. And it was, it was pretty big and it was hardcover like most things were back then. And in this story, right, the Autobots are trying to fight the Decepticons. The Decepticons have something up their sleeve, something the Autobots have never seen before. And it's, of course, the Constructicons who then form Devastator, who then starts kicking the shit out of all, I mean, obviously for kids, but kicking the shit out of all of the Autobots. And so they put out a distress call and the fucking Dinobots show up and they take Devastator apart.
Yep.
They don't say a word. They show up, they fucking scrap him, and then they leave.
But that's the thing. They in the TV lore, Dinobots were created to be a counter to Devastator because the Autobots hadn't figured out how to do their own combiners yet. Because the aerial bots were the first combiners that the Autobots came up with. But by then, the Decepticons had the Stunticons and the Constructicons and another and the one with the tank. And they had like so many more. But then, of course, you always had then they had the rescue bots along with aerial bots, and Omega Supreme was sort of a counter to. But the Autobots are always a day late and a dollar short to countering that kind of stuff. But I loved it anyway. It was great. It was great. I remember when they created in the show, when they created the Dinobots, they were out of control. They couldn't be controlled, and they weren't sure. Oh, there's a good shot of Grimlock.
Yeah, they weren't. The lore I remember when I was a kid was that they encountered the Dinobots, but the Dinobots were not officially Autobots until they agreed to kind of a treaty that basically said they would come and help the Autobots when they needed it, but would otherwise be left alone. And then they started supporting the Autobot symbol. But prior to that, they were just the Dinobots.
I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. So Adam left. I guess it's my channel now. Guess what, boys and girls? We gonna fuck some shit up. No, I'll just mess with it. But yeah, that was the lore that I read when I was a kid. Was that the Dinobots were almost an offshoot subspecies of Cybertronian, and that they had agreed to be part of the loosely affiliated part of the Autobots, but they weren't actually Autobots when they came into existence. That the Autobots didn't know they existed until they stumbled across them.
Yeah, my memory's fuzzy. Honestly, it's fuzzy in terms of the show. I mean, I can't remember. Comics and the show are like two different things, so I cannot compare and contrast.
Yeah. Well, and the comics went way deeper in the lore, and they went. Years.
Oh yeah, I remember this thing. This thing was so cheap. I had this one. It was just like little tank dude. I don't remember what he was. All right.
I think they even crossed over with G.I. Joe in the comics at one point.
Oh yeah. Oh, they still they do it, and right now they're doing it right now in the current run, and people are digging it apparently. But all in all, this is just a reminder of what it was like to be a kid. When it was really fun to be a kid, when all the stuff wasn't so bad, and you could take the time to enjoy toys, and the toys were real. I mean, we just looked through all this stuff because these were toys, and you played with them, and you had a good time. And I would never trade any of those memories for anything. I wouldn't trade them for anything. Okay, I have this to show you. And I know that this is going to put a smile on your face, because I don't know if you've seen it yet, but we've got a trailer for Suikoden 2 doing a Unification War official trailer. Yeah. Wait 1 second here. Hang on 1 second. Light in my face, and I don't want it.
Yeah, if he keeps wandering away and leaving the show in my hands, it's gonna go bad. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's going bad. All right, so we are 3 months away from Suikoden Remaster. I've ordered my physical copy already. I pre-ordered it months ago. When it's ready, it will ship, and I will stream that. I'm going to stream the hell out of Suikoden 1 and 2. So let's watch this and revel in the glory. Ooh.
There it is.
Yes.
This game has one of the most evil fucking villains in all of JRPGs.
Oh yeah,
Luca Blight.
Luca Blight is a psychopath. He is There's no good to it. It's not like Joey, who's doing what he's doing for a reason in this. No,
right.
Luca Blight is evil.
No, he just burns shit down and slaughtering people, and that's what he does.
Burn the world down. Burn the world down. Now, I'm gonna admit, when this first came out, I was annoyed that Joey got Black Sword and I got Bright Shield. Because I'm a sword guy, and I'm like, man, why can't I have Black Sword?
Dude, Black Sword had the better spells. Come on.
Yeah. I was like, God damn it, why can't I have Black Sword? I want a Black Sword.
Especially since in the first game, you get
Soul Eater.
The Soul Eater, which has like some seriously fucked up spells in it.
Well, at least you can get McDole in this, and you can use Solar. My final team for the final part of the game, it's always got McDole in it when you pick him back up, because it's just I'm not gonna put the Soul Eater in my party, please.
I mean, if you don't know that he's in this one, though, he is completely missable.
Oh yeah, you have to know. Yeah, you have to know he's sitting there fishing with Gremio, just taking a powder.
If you saved Gremio, yeah.
I didn't save him the first time. I didn't know.
I didn't either.
because the very first playthrough I missed like 15 or 20 people, or maybe even 30, because I didn't know how to do it yet. So I didn't know that you have to get all 107 for Leknat to do her thing and say, oh yeah, here's Gremio back. You can have Gremio.
Yeah.
Back. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but if you don't do that, like Gremio's not hanging out with McToll later on. He's dead.
Yep. Exactly.
And the way he goes out, holy shit.
Oh, well, the way he goes out, that's like, I'm gonna take the poison for you, kid. I'm gonna take the all in the face. And I got this in my eyes.
He got eaten alive on the other side of a fucking door, and you had to listen to it kill him.
Yeah.
By like bugs, like microscopic bugs or whatever, like some kind of virus just literally ate his body alive.
I thought it was poison. No,
nope.
Bugs? Oh, guess I remember wrong.
I mean, like bacteria or something, but yeah, they get splashed. He gets splashed with something, and you're just like, what the fuck
purple.
Is this? And it turns out, and it turns out that it's like flesh-eating bacteria or virus or some shit like that, and that's how he dies slowly, an atom at a time.
Yeah. And you're there on the other side listening to it.
Yeah. It's a really fucked up way to go.
Yeah. It was great. One of the things I love most about these games is the character art.
Yeah, character art was always really good.
I love it. Everything is individual. It's brought to life. It's unique. These are real characters, and
they had multiple character portraits per character, depending on their expression or their emotion or their cadence or whatever, their tone of voice. Like they did different things with them, and it was you kind of had to be paying attention to that, like either that or the sprites, because there was kind of a lot going on. Yeah. But they did some really cool detail work with the character portraits.
I wonder if the remake's gonna have voice acting in it. The remaster.
I hope not.
I hope. Well, for streaming, it's easier. That means I don't have to read it to everybody. It's easier for me.
But just for pure enjoyment for me. I hope not.
Yeah. Part of me hopes just so that I don't have to read everything while I'm streaming it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to read everything. Oh, this moment. There's Luca Blight.
That motherfucker.
Yeah, I loved it. This is the same. This is the same exact track from the original. And that moment when this reveal in the opener here, when you see him, right there, man. That's evil. That's pure effing evil, right there, right there. And now we rise. So good.
The fucking music is
I know,
very
man.
good.
There's life. Now the hero march. I love this. Oh,
there it is.
Go.
I fucking love Nanami. She's a great character.
Thing is, that first time playthrough, you don't know that you got to hit those buttons.
Hit
those buttons.
Yeah, just like Gremio. If you fuck up, she's dead.
You got to hit the blocks, man. You got to time it. She's got to block that shit so she don't die. Otherwise, she dead. She doubly dead. WD dead. Oh, I love the bass in 2. There's Apple. I love that. That's the carryover. You know, she was Matthew's apprentice in the first one, and then she's your strategist in this one. It's great.
Well, they do all kinds of like little things like that as you go through. You know, like when you meet Luke in this one, he's no longer just Leknat's bitch. You know, but he's not who he becomes in 3 later. But he's kind of doing his own thing, and he's helping you out for his own reasons, and still sort of mysterious.
It's the groundwork for what he's going to become in 3 is the thing.
Yeah.
And you don't know it.
Also, Pesmerga's still in this one. I wish he was in 3, but I mean, they brought Uber back, obviously. But
I know that
Pesmerga's in this one.
That made no sense in 3. That Uber was so prevalent in 3, and Pesmerga's nowhere inside. I was convinced up until the final moments of 3 that Pesmerga was going to show up, and we're going to finally get Uber and Pesmerga showdown. I was convinced.
Well, it would make sense. It would make sense, man, because he's only available to collect at the end of each of these games, practically.
Yeah. So I thought,
which is a shame because he's also he's the single strongest physical fucking fighter in the game.
Yeah. So the fact that they never delivered on that, I'm always going to be pissed about that they never delivered on that.
Yeah.
It would have made so much sense because Uber was in these first 2 games, but he wasn't center stage. But he's center stage as part of the villain pack in 3.
Yep.
And you have to fight
him.
I
mean, that tracks for his character, but what doesn't is you're absolutely right. What doesn't is that why isn't Pesmerga hunting his ass down? You know, because the lore is, and some of this is fan theory because it's not all explained in the game, but the lore is that Uber and Pesmerga possibly come from another world entirely, that they're not human at all.
Oh, Uber's not human. He's a demon of sorts. He's
well, I mean that Pesmerga is like Uber. He was sent from that world to drag Uber back to it. That's why he's always pursuing him.
It was such a letdown. That is one of the reasons I get pissed off at 3 is because it went away from things that were set up in the first 2 games, and it just didn't deliver. And that pissed me off.
I mean, I'm kind of getting hard right now, dude.
I'm just getting excited. There's Luke. There's Luke, version 2 Luke. Freaking kobolds. Dog people.
Hey, and this is before they introduced the Nay kobolds, who were shit.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Victor and Flick are my two of my go-to characters.
Oh yeah, Victor the Bear. Victor the Bear. Yeah. And you know what's great is that if you carry over your save data from the first game, they're both level 20 at the start of game 2.
They really are, and they're both fucking fantastic combatants. You know, like Flick of the Blue Lightning, like he is, like, obviously there are more powerful magic users, but early game, like, his lightning rune is like the go-to for spells. And if you can find one early enough, right? If you equip a double strike rune on fucking Victor, he's nearly unstoppable. He's slow as shit, but he kills everything he hits.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to remember what my final team is at 2. It's definitely, you know, your Bright Shield Wielder, then McDole, because Soul Leader. I'm pretty sure I do have Flick and Victor in there. I know I've got Clive, because Clive is just a freaking beast. Or maybe I forget. I have somebody in there for a combo. I just don't remember who it is anymore. There's somebody in there for a killer combo. I just don't remember who it is right now. Because you don't need a healer. You have Bright Shield for healing, so you don't need to worry about a healer.
I usually keep Nanami in for the combo with
but she's not there anymore in final game. She's not there anymore for the final stretch.
That's true. So you got to switch her up. Yeah. Okay. So in which case, I probably would.
I'm trying to remember.
What's the? I can't remember her name off the top of my head. The chick who was like the mysterious dark mage, sort of you know, floating around or whatever. You find her, I think, in one of the old ruins. But she's not the chick who's exploring ruins. She just happens to be in one of them. But she's one of the most powerful magic casters in the game, short of obviously Luke. But I was kind of irritated with Luke the first time I played through it because he's a whiny bitch. So I didn't use him that much. Her and probably Pesmerga.
I don't remember. All I know I have Clive, because Clive as a single range is so devastating when you have him. Devil, don't try to get all 108 on your first go through. You're not going to do it. Just do the best you can. You have to say, when we all did this back in the day, we didn't get all 108 on the first playthrough. We didn't.
Oh, nobody did, man. And honestly, I'd just say just enjoy the fucking playthrough, man. Yeah. And then go back and play it again if you want to, like, 100% it or whatever.
The replay value is so high on these. So you'll go back and you'll have fun every time. Trust me. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Don't get paranoid, because listen, just for the example, and we've talked about this, you're not going to get Clive on your first playthrough of Suikoden 2. You're not going to.
Not unless you dedicate the third of your game to getting him. You have to speed run that shit, or you're not going to get him.
It's literally an 8-hour blitz. You have less than 8 hours to get to a point to pick him up. Now, the game is constructed so you don't miss anything, because you're allowed to go back.
Yeah, you can go back and collect everything that you had to skip past. But
that means no grinding. That means no nothing. You have to boom, boom, boom. And that's why it is helpful that you carry over your save data from the first game, because Flick and Victor are so strong, they can carry it. But see, you don't know what you're doing, though, so you shouldn't worry. You shouldn't worry about it. You don't know the tricks. I know you're OCD about that stuff, Devil, but don't worry. Just have fun with it. The joy of Suikoden is going back and replaying it and doing it better.
I mean, there's so much hidden stuff in these games too that you probably will miss some things on your first playthrough anyway, just because there's so fucking much to do. Like when you get the hot tub, right? When you get the baths, right?
Yeah.
My favorite dialogues in the baths. I mean, obviously there's a bunch of different great ones, but I think it's in 2, when you get Siegfried the unicorn.
Yeah, he's a pervert.
Right. You put him in the bath with any of the girls, and I mean girls, like virginal girls, right? He gets up to some horny shenanigans, and he's fucked up.
He only shows up if you have girls in your party. And here's the thing. Why replay value. In Suikoden 2, the large beasts that can be part of your extras, because they're not even part of the stars, they're extras. There are different ones, but you're limited to like 2 of them.
There are 4 total, but yeah, you can get 2.
So to experience all of them, you have to replay it to get the different combinations. So
yeah, there's the unicorn. I believe there's a griffin, and then there's an octopus monster, and there's a giant turtle, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Unlike 3, where Fubar is a star, they are not stars, though. They are extras. They are there to add color context to everything. Now, when I first played this, being who I was at the time, I was annoyed that my main weapon were tonfas.
Yeah, well, I mean, your main weapon in the first game is just a stick.
It's a bow staff, though, because you can make that. A bow staff is respectable in the end, you know?
But tonfas are devastating in the right hands, dude.
I know, but when you're a teenager and you're a sword freak, and Joey has the black sword rune and the sword, you're sitting there going, "Wait, I get the shield and tonfas? Come on!"
Well, I mean, it was kind of like when you get to Suikoden 5 and your main character has a 3-section staff, which is cool on paper, but it's kind of a gay weapon in real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's basically oversized, very limited nunchucks.
But that game made up for it in a lot of other ways. It was fine, and but that's a whole different thing. But yeah, so this, I am so excited for this. This and Lunar Remastered are what I'm looking forward to most next year at this point in terms of releases. This is what I'm looking forward to, because not only is this a return to some of the greatest gaming periods in my life, they're remastered, and I can play them on the PS5, and I can share them with all you guys. Those of you who have never seen these games before, because you can't find these anymore. You can't really play. You can't even stream them. You have to do wonky shit to make this stuff work. So this is, I'm excited. It's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait. It's gonna be glorious, and
it's gonna be fun, man. I do want to stream it. I'm not sure I will be able to at that time, so I'm gonna have to do a different playthrough later. But I'm definitely fucking playing them when they come out.
Oh yeah. I mean, let me check the date. When is it shipping? Let me look. I believe
it's mid-February, right?
No, March. It's March.
Is it March?
Let me go down and find it.
Things may have changed by then, though. Too. I might have a stronger internet setup, hopefully. So
there we go. March 6th.
Okay.
So I will probably get it a couple days later, because I didn't pay for expedient shipping. I got the free shipping because I'm a cheap bastard.
I'm looking forward to it, though, man. It's been a minute since I played through this series. And
dude,
I can go back and play. Like I don't actually have to get like a new version of it. I have all of the original versions, and I have all of the equipment necessary to play them. Like it's still in working order, so I can do that. But you can't stream with the PS1.
No, you can't. You cannot.
And all that. But I can go play them at any time. I just haven't in a minute, and I miss doing it.
I don't even have my physical copies anymore, my originals, because when I got rid of them, I've told the story. I needed the money, and the Suikoden 2 was very wanted at that time, so I got a small amount of change for that. But
Suikoden 2 is still fucking rare and hard to and expensive as fuck when you can find it.
So I traded that in for cash, and but at the time I thought, oh, there's going to be remakes, and that was almost 10 years ago now. Almost 10 years ago, and I thought it would be a lot sooner, but here it is. So now in 3 months, I will no longer feel guilty for not having it anymore, because I still have a PS2. in the closet. It's not my original. It's like my third used one I've bought and years later, but it won't be as that. And same goes not so much for my Lunar stuff because I still have all my Lunar games and systems to play it on. But as you just said, you can't stream that shit. I'm at least not without extra accessories and great difficulty to get the PS2 hooked up for this kind of stuff. So I can't share Lunar with anybody, and I would love to, but I can't. But now with the remaster, not only that, but yes, it's the remakes, not the originals, but those are kind of the standard at this point. But now also widescreen, restored music, all this great stuff, and so easy. Now it's plug and play. So it's a lot. It's retro gaming, but it's retro gaming modernized. If that
it's retro gaming plus.
That's a good way to put it. I like that better. Retro gaming plus. So I get to experience some of the best games ever, but with modern day polish on it, and I can't wait. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so much fun, and we're gonna have a great time.
Yeah. It'll be a blast.
And we're gonna take it slow.
I can't fucking wait.
I'm gonna take it slow. We're gonna Suicune 1, we're taking slow. Suicune 2, that for those first couple of sessions are gonna be breakneck to get Clive, but then we'll slow it down, we'll enjoy it, do all little things. And Lunar, that's just gonna be pure joy. Pure joy. I haven't played any of these games in I don't think some cases 15 years, maybe even 20. It's been a long time. So long because I'm going to say this, and some people might go, "Shut up, old man," but a lot of people get hot for retro gaming in general, like on the actual stuff. I don't, and the only thing I ascribe it to is that maybe because I lived through it, I don't want to go back to it in terms of not because the games suck, just because the limitations of some of the games. Some people get excited talking about playing old NES games or playing old Genesis games, stuff like that. I don't feel that. And the only thing I can attribute it to is the fact that because I was there and I already did it. That's the only thing I can attribute it to. And I don't feel the need to go back to it. Does that make sense?
I mean, to a degree, I was there too, man. In some old games, I do get excited for playing for it, but that's because I loved those games. Like, I don't get excited for every old game, no. But
I just watch people get so excited for retro stuff, and I don't get excited. It's not that I hate them. It's just I'm not there anymore. I'm just not. I mean, I'm not saying that modern gaming is perfect and great. No, modern gaming has a lot of problems, but I do like the responsiveness to modern gaming in terms of controllers and gameplay. And I remember I go back, and when I get back into my little kid memories, I remember the frustration of how a controller
I'll give you
what
that.
I wanted to do. And that I think that's where it comes from.
Yeah, the responsiveness of your sluggish controls, sure, especially in action oriented stuff. It really you really feel it when you go back and do say the original Medal of Honor, for example, right? It's just not on the same level in terms of fluidity and responsiveness that modern shooters are. It's just not. But when you're talking about a JRPG, right? Like Suikoden, that doesn't matter.
That's different. That's different. I'm talking about watch people get excited talking about playing old sports games or old racing games or old action games. And once again, I can only say only answer I have is because I was there and did it so much. I don't feel that urge or desire or connection to go back to it. I like living in modern gaming in terms of gameplay and controls and stuff like that.
I mean, to a degree, but it's a nostalgia thing.
You understand what
I do, but I also understand the other side is what I'm getting at. I understand both because there's a nostalgia factor to it. Like you're talking about a time before microtransactions, before fucking lobbies, before
I understand that.
Before DLC every fucking 3 months
cartridge is all you got.
Overpriced.
The cartridge is it. It's everything in there. It gets no fixes, no updates.
It didn't have cloud save files. It was like there is something that we lost over time. There.
If you were going to play Contra, you were going to play Contra. There was no stopping. If you were going to play Metroid, you were going to play Metroid. No stopping. Well, actually, no. I think you
Right.
could save
And
you could save in Metroid. Sorry, you could save an original Metroid, couldn't you?
yeah, you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
save in Metroid.
You know what I mean?
It has the same.
Yeah,
It has the same save
Exactly.
system that some of the Castlevania games
Let
did.
me change that. If you were gonna, well, not original Castlevania. You played original Castlevania. You were gonna play original Castlevania. Castlevania 2 had a save
Right.
system. They turned that more into an RPG. But Ninja Gaiden, you were gonna play Ninja Gaiden. You were gonna play Ninja Gaiden. You were gonna play.
You were gonna try.
Hey, I got to the end. Didn't win. But I got there. Ninja Gaiden 2. I got to the end. Beat what I thought was the real boss, but then the original boss from Ninja Gaiden showed up and kicked my ass. That's it. I'm done. I'm doing this again. I my little boy hands. I got good old. I had old school NES controller blisters on my thumbs. It's like, yeah, my thumbs hurt. I'm not doing this anymore. Done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because I got kids and I still play like games with them that are older, like the Sonic the Hedgehog games
That's
and
fair.
the
That's fair.
like Symphony of the Night, that kind of thing. And just like
Sonic is different.
stuff that I can play with my kids,
Yeah. Like old school Genesis Sonic games. Again, I feel like that's different. It's all those are also games. It's not you're gonna play it, you're gonna play it. But that's different. Those have aged well. Because it's just a side scroller and you're doing shit. And the Genesis controller was a good controller. The original Genesis controller was a good comfortable controller that didn't fuck with your fingers like an NES controller and an SNES controller.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, like that's what I'm saying. It's like I played those games with my kids because my dad played them with me.
Mm-hmm. See,
so
I
it's
played
kind of
by
a generational
myself.
thing. So I look at it probably a little differently.
I was see, when it came to gaming, even though my stepdad played games, he played computer games. He played U-Boat. He played stuff like that or air simulators. He was into old school flight simulators. He was not a console player. Consoles was what my generation did. So when I gamed, unless I was in an arcade, that's a different thing. When I gamed, I was 90% of the time by myself. The only time I played a game with anybody else is if my friend Teddy came over to sleep over and play. He was better than me, so I would watch him play the games I wasn't very good at yet. I didn't have the reflexes yet. Or we would plug ourselves into the Apple IIc and play King's Quest, play Space Quest, play Leisure Suit Larry. I mean, we played Leisure Suit Larry.
You shouldn't have at that age.
But we did. I was telling that joke. We were talking about that on Saturday playing, and one of the guys mentioned that, and I said, no. I'm talking Apple IIc, where if you didn't put the condom on and had sex with the hooker, you died at 8.
Yeah.
So we played those games together, but that's the amount of games I played with somebody else. 90% of the time, it was just me by myself playing the game. And
that country club, huh?
Oh, shut up! I was at home. Shut the hell up! I'm not playing games at a country club. But it was just playing games has always been at least for my first part of my life, it was a solo activity. I didn't play with other people. Later on, I got older. Yeah, then friends would come over. We're playing multiplayer on the same screen, playing sports games on the same screen. Then you get to my adult life, and MMOs are a thing, and I'm playing with people who are hundreds of miles away because of the internet and how it all works now. That's different. But back then, to your point, I don't have the nostalgia of playing with a parent or an uncle or a sibling or anything like that. It was just me. So I your point is completely understood because it's coming from that perspective of sharing that with somebody because it was shared with you. I don't have that because that was just me.
I mean, like my dad was among the very first gamers, and I'm a gamer. My sister is to a lesser degree a gamer. My kids are gamers. My grandkids will likely be gamers. It's a generational thing with my family.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you have it, you pass it on. I mean, because I said my stepdad he played games, just didn't play the games I played. He played old man games at the time. And
don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, my oldest is really fucking into Pokemon games, and I don't get that shit at all. But
yeah, but now there was a time when it first came out. He played Wolfenstein when it first came out. He played that thing to death. He's the guy that walked around all the walls looking for secret compartments back then when it was just Mr. Guten Tag and all that shit. He played the hell out of Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein was one that I missed, but we did play a fuckload of Duke Nukem, a lot of Doom, Doom 2, Quake. You know,
played Quake. We had a I had a friend in high school who, because the library computers were on a LAN in the high school library, he installed Quake on all the library computers.
Yeah,
because the librarian really liked him, so she kind of let him do that kind of shit. So when he and I would hang out in the library a lot, because that was when I was friends with that dude for a while. So we'd hang out in the library, and we'd either be playing MUDs on the library computer, or we'd be playing, not during the day, but after hours, we play Quake, or we're playing Magic in the library after hours. So we were doing all our nerd shit up there. And the only time I was doing is when I had to go do play practice, because I was stage manager in high school. So after school, I was in charge of that shit. But yeah, you get like 4 or 5 of us playing Quake in the library after school. Because fine, we all have cars. We can go home when we feel like it. We're playing Quake now.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, hey, man, Quake 2 is still, in my opinion, Quake 2 is still the number one, the best arena deathmatch game ever fucking made.
Yeah,
everything else is stolen from it or built on it.
You're not wrong. I only played Quake story mode once, because while my friends were having their crap ass band practice downstairs, they wouldn't let me hang out down there. So I went up to somebody's room and he had Quake on there, so I played Quake story mode for the afternoon. That was the only time I ever played Quake story mode, just that one time. And it was all right. It was more fun to play with people in the library.
My cousin downloaded a mod for it one time on the school computer, I might add, that essentially turned like everything in Quake, like all of the hallways and all of that stuff, into it skinned him in Hellraiser aesthetics from like Hellraiser 2. When they're in the labyrinth and all that stuff, but with like pillars of souls hanging and chains everywhere, and
dude, that's pretty nasty. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Man, good times. I love it. So, but I both understand and don't understand. You've helped me understand a little bit more when it comes to the retro stuff, but I still don't feel the excitement when people get it, and I'm trying to understand it. And you took me a step in the direction of understanding it, so I get maybe there's a thing about that now. But
do you play a lot of indie games?
Occasionally, if if they come across it, sort of. I mean,
okay.
I mean, there's not a lot of RPG indie games, at least not ones that I'm interested in. So that's always my first thing. Like every single game I picked up for Christmas, the 3 games I picked up, they're all RPGs. All of them, this year.
Why I ask because a lot of like the retro platformers and stuff that people are so fond of thinking about, a lot of indie games are basically right along those lines. I mean, currently made ones, are very much or like top down,
there are a few
Atari style shooters or whatever. Yeah,
there's a couple RPGs. A couple weeks ago, for some reason, I don't know how, my Twitter feed flipped to giving me indie game posts of these creators pimping their games, and a few RPG ones came across my thing, and I've wishlisted them on Steam, and I've got them on. Keep it on. A couple of them been out for a while. A couple of the very Secret of Mana-esque. A couple of them very dungeon crawler-esque, stuff like that. So there's a couple that have come across my radar recently that I might look into down the road. But I mean, right now, this was essentially the last of my backlog from last year. So I'm finishing it just now, and I think that's it. I mean, I think there's maybe one more game, and it's like I got the Outer Worlds, but that's a stream game eventually. That's not something for my private play. But this was it, and now the games I got, because I also just beat Tales of Arise a couple weeks ago, and I didn't get the DLC because even though it was on sale, I'm like, screw it, I'm tired of this game. I don't want to play it anymore. The 3 games I got, they're all RPGs. They're for private play. Visions of Mana, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, and Saga Frontier Revenge of the Seven, or whatever. Yeah, those are all for my private play. But I've got plenty of streaming games coming. I mean, like I said, we've got the remasters next year. When it gets its first price drop, Dragon Quest 3 2D HD, I'm going to stream that. I'm going to stream because that's going to be glorious. And then when they release Dragon Quest 1 and 2 2D HD, it's going to be a 2-pack. I'm going to get that as well. It's on here. It's on my wish list, but it's only available digitally. So again, I'm going to wait for a price drop. I will get Romance of the Three Kingdoms 8 remake. It's got mixed reviews on Steam, but I don't care what they say. I'll probably still love it because I love the original. I'm going to get that, and that's going to be something I'll stream, some good old-fashioned grand strategy. But first, I have to get that. I have to make an entire roster of original characters for it because I like to make my own kingdom. Screw those guys. One of my favorite things to do in playing romance game is to have my own kingdom and to go about conquering the original characters and collect the 5 great heroes. Liu Bei, Jiao Yun, Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, and the old dude whose name I can't remember. I like to collect those guys. Like, yeah, I got the 5 generals, baby.
Hey, look, you know, whatever makes you happy, just do not pursue Lu Bu.
Stay away from Lu Bu. Hey, man, one of the greatest things to do, and I've done it. At that early on in the stage where Lu Bu is just so massive powerful, I've taken him down. And I've taken red hair and I've taken his weapons. And it's glorious. You beat him that early. And you don't keep him. You kill him. You do not keep Lu Bu. You kill Lu Bu. Do not keep him. You do not recruit him. You kill him. Because he's Lu Bu. He's a beast. Stay away from Lu Bu. What you got there, Weasel? Wayward Realms. Really? I have a love-hate relationship with Elder Scrolls. I've been last. I mean, when I finally got around to Skyrim, again, one of the many stories I've already told. I was so burned by previous games that I was so hesitant, and I got Skyrim because I was still hobbled from recovery from China, and I just needed games to play. And the entire Game of the Year edition was only $12 on Black Friday, so it was an easy call to make. And when I played Skyrim, it was just so easy. So I tried playing the older games and before that, and I just didn't like them. So if they come out with another one, or if these guys are making something, I hope it's got a good balance of uniqueness and difficulty to it, and it'll come. Now, I'm not touching anything in early access anymore. It's got to be coming out. It's got to come out full game. I'm not paying to beta test. I'm not doing that. That's why I haven't paid to do Path of Exile 2, because I'm not paying to beta test, even though I know everybody.
Oh, I'm not touching Path of Exile 2. Period.
Well, we wanted to play.
I didn't like
Saturday.
The first one, so yeah.
Static wants to play it for Saturday, and when it's free to play, hey, I'll play it when it's free to play. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not paying $30 for free access. I'm not doing that.
I didn't pay that much for the original because I waited several years after it came out. But I just can't get it. I don't like it. It's like and maybe 2 improves on all that shit, but the first one is like a watered down, bare bones version of the original fucking Diablo. And they like
everybody's
the original Diablo is a better fucking game than the first Path of Exile. I'm sorry, it is.
Everybody's enjoying it. So when it's free to play, I look forward to getting in on it with the boys on Saturday. But until then, I'm gonna wait, and it could be a while. So I'm putting it on the back burner. Hey, Rolando. Yeah, listen. I hope I performed well on BSUP. I hope that it went well. Considering you are being positive, I guess I performed well. So thank you. It was a lot of fun being there, like I said earlier, and I hope to be invited back. It'll be a good time. So see, here's the thing. Also, I'm not I've done the thing where I have invested in games for like founder packs and all that shit. I've been burned too many times. I ain't never doing that again. Never. Game comes out, I will give you my money for it. I expect it to be mostly working now. And provide me entertainment. But I'm not giving you, like the worst one ever was, what was it called? Shit. It was a Arcade, the MMO Arcade in 2015. Yeah, boy, that was a fucking scam. Oh, I put down like a few $100 on that.
Ooh.
And it was and thing is, I convinced my MMO buddies from my guild to do it with me. Oh, I mean, nobody was really angry at me, but I felt guilty as fuck for convincing a handful of people to come in with me and back me as I would be like the branch leader for the guild in that game. Never again. Never again. I am not putting down money. That's why we were actually talking about this on Saturday. The game PAX Day went into beta earlier this year, or early access, and it's not looking good in early access. And I was excited for this one. Devil and I stumbled upon this one because Kaladar in the chat, she recommended that we take a look at it last year, and we took a look at it, and I signed up for the beta. I never got in, but I was excited for it. And then when they announced it was early access, I think it was 4 or 5 months ago, I looked at it and I waited, and then I waited a month, and then people were saying, yeah, it's not working out too well. And I said to myself, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back in a year if it's a full release, and I'll see how it looks. Because the premise of having a true safe zone where you can build your guild, your community, be a blacksmith, be a farmer, have an economy, like that. That's intriguing. Having a world out there where you can build your own class the way you want to. You're not restricted by anything. It's do what you want. That massively intrigues me. In a fantasy setting, a world where there's things to find, explore, and that's great, but it's not working yet. And if it works, damn straight. And then there's the other thing. I can't even play it. Look at my computer, can't handle that. I need to be able to afford to get a new a gaming rig at this point, because I've admitted that in the recent months that with the change of what Apple's done with the new chips, they do the M1, M2 chips, you can't do boot camp anymore. So if I'm going to PC game going forward, once I retire the tube here, I'm going to have to get a PC rig for gaming. Just for that, not for anything else. I have all my other stuff for all my actual channel work, which I'm used to here, but I would get a rig just for gaming. But that's not in the cards now. Can't afford that. So even if I wanted to play PAX Day right now, I couldn't. I can't even I can't even play regular games these days. That's why most of the stuff I'm doing right now, I see if there's a console version, because love it or hate it, PC Master Race, console Master Race, don't give a fuck. I can play games with everybody if it's on my console, no problem. No problem at all. That's why I was disappointed when after we had a conversation a couple weeks ago, I went and looked. Power World, yeah, it's on console, but it's not cross-platform yet. Power World is not cross-platform. So, as much as I'd love for all of us to go back in there and have a good time, until it's cross-platform, I'm not going to spend $30 on getting in again. Just not. Now, when it happens, I'll consider it, because we had a good time in Power World, and that was when we were all doing that when we were first all starting to game and hang out together. So it was kind of just, we didn't really have a groove. Now we've got a groove. We've been gaming together, all of us, for like a year or more now. So we all got a groove in how we do shit. So we could dive in there and we'd have even more fun this time. But I'll wait. It's that simple, because I can play things on the console, no problem. And I don't want any problems. I just want to have fun. All right. Yeah. You got anything else you want to say about
that? So I think it was on your show last week. Somebody asked in the chat if I had checked out the Death of a Unicorn trailer. Have you seen that?
I remember it being mentioned, and I said no.
I did check it out. I'm kind of intrigued.
What is it?
It's an A24 horror movie.
Oh, okay, that's your thing. That's totally your bag.
Yeah, but I think you might want to see this one. It's got a fucking unicorn in it.
What do I care about a unicorn?
He eats people. It's hilarious.
I don't care about a unicorn eating people.
Paul Rudd's in it. Man. Fucking it's got the Nutcracker Chin Chick from Wednesdays in it. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. She's got that super manly chin, but everybody's going around saying, "Oh, she's so hot." She's like 22.
What?
Played Wednesday Addams.
Jenna Ortega?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, she's got that fucking beefy chin. See, Kel knows who I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, we said it at the same time. I mean, once you said, well, I thought she's attractive. I'm not. She's not top of my.
Hey,
I'm not
she's
dermy creaming my pants over her. But I mean,
she's attractive. I'm just saying you can crack fucking walnuts with her chin.
I'd have to go look at her again, and that's not. I'm not. Her chin is not registering as something that jumped out to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, dude.
So.
I'm not doing that. No. Not doing that.
No, what
No.
I won't make you watch a trailer, but the premise is basically this family's going on vacation to the cabin in the woods, as always, and they run over something runs out in front of them, and they hit it with their car, and they kill it, and it's a unicorn. It's a smallish unicorn. So they put it in the car, and they're discussing what to do with it and all this stuff. And as it turns out, it's got all these like miracle applications for science. So they basically after they kill it, they cut it up and they sell it off to fucking scientists and shit. And then the parent beast shows up looking for its fucking kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna love this fucking movie.
Yeah. Next movie I'm watching. I have a couple Christmas movies left to watch. I'm watching the Patrick Stewart Christmas Carol tomorrow. I'm gonna watch that one. That's what I'm watching next.
Is that the one where he plays all the roles?
No. This is
on stage.
That's stage on. This is the TNT original movie that they made well number of years ago. That's my favorite version of the Christmas Carol. I really like that one because his performance is stellar. Yeah, that's the one I like the most.
No, that's interesting.
Yeah,
it's good. I'm not denigrating you or anything. That wouldn't have been my first my head went first.
That's my favorite movie adaptation of it. That's the one I like the best. I know people go Muppet Christmas Carol. I don't give a fuck about Muppet Christmas Carol. I don't
really like
I love Michael Caine.
Christmas Carol, but
I love Michael Caine, but I don't give a fuck.
The animated Disney one where Pete plays the fucking ghost of Christmas Future.
Are you talking about the original Scrooge one?
No, yeah, that one. That one is terrifying, and it's awesome.
So that's what I got. That's what I got. That's my next one. And then I think I've seen all the Christmas movies I'm going to watch this year. After that, I think I'm done tomorrow.
Did you watch Fat Man?
No, I did not watch Fat Man. I'm not going to watch Fat Man.
You need to watch Fat Man.
That's the one where Mel Gibson's killing people, right?
No, he's Santa Claus.
But he's killing people.
Well, he's shooting at people, but he started it.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Walton Goggins is in it.
Okay.
I think you'll enjoy it. It's a fucking great movie.
That's gonna be honestly, it's one of those things that one of you is gonna have to make me watch in some way, shape, or form. I think it's not because it'll be told me to do it, and I'll do what I always do, and I'll go, yeah, sure, later, and then I won't.
I was just saying, man, like this kid gets cold for Christmas because he's a dipshit, and then he swears revenge on the Santa Claus, so he hires Walton Goggins to fucking kill Santa.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just these things I need to be made to watch these things. That's what needs to happen. I will generally not do these things on my own. I need to be made, forced, coerced, tricked into watching me. Dermy has a load of things on Anime Odyssey. He has like a small list of things he's going to try and trick me into watching, but he's Dermy. So when he tries to hide what the selection is, I can see right through him, and I'm not going to choose Delicious Dungeon. It's not going to happen. It's not happening.
Try to make him watch Ratsukadochi.
No, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, listen, there are things that are so far back. I was told to watch early YouTube videos way back in the day, and I would just refuse because the people were so insistent I needed to watch them. I was like, no, I'm not going to. Leave me alone. I need to be tricked, coerced, made, forced to do this stuff.
You know, I got the same problem when somebody's trying trying to, it's like it's a big hit, it's very popular and all that. It's sort of torn between like how you look at it and how Gal does. Like, I don't like being told to watch something over and over again by everybody in the world. I don't care how good they think it is. And I'm also like fundamentally lazy when it comes to new stuff. I will go back and watch fucking Silver Streak with over and over and over again before I'll watch something fucking new. That's been a problem for me for a while, because I have missed some great stuff, but I've also been bullied into watching shit that I hated too, like Kill Bill.
I had to be forced to watch Kill Bill. Here's the thing. Like you right now, I don't watch new anymore. I don't care. I watch new. The only new I watch is the garbage I have to review. I haven't seen a new good movie in forever. And people say, well, Adam, don't you want to watch Sonic 3? I don't care about the Sonic movies. I'm not a hardcore Sonic guy. Never really was. I liked it, enjoyed it up to a point, but they went away from what I liked about Sonic and went in other directions, and I didn't have the consoles anymore, so I didn't care. So I know Sonic is great, people enjoying it. I'm not interested. That's not saying I don't like it. I'm just not interested. So I'm not going to watch it. I think I said as much on Friday. If the entire Sonic movie franchise completes and they're done, then maybe I'll sit down and watch it all when it's all done. But now I just don't have an interest. Same with now today. Did you hear what they announced today?
I probably didn't.
I didn't hear because I was on B-Sub, so I didn't hear it till afterwards. Till Jed told me did you hear about this? They announced the new Christopher Nolan movie.
No, he was making another one.
Oh yeah, he's been they've been very coy about everybody he's been hiring for the past couple months. He will be adapting The Odyssey. And those involved right now, Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Zendaya, and others. But I mean, I'm not going to go too much into it because we're now dedicating a roundtable segment because Jed is huge in mythology, and I love the actual.
How in the hell is he going to do The Odyssey? He never goes full on fucking fantastic in his movies.
And
never.
That is the question that we're going to pose.
Like the story of the Cyclops Polyphemus alone is going to be fucking so far out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, Circe. Everything.
Yeah, the siren. Circe's the one that turns them all into pigs, I think.
Animals.
Right?
Yeah. And I mean, one of the greatest things about the Odyssey is the fact that Odysseus is the one that has to suffer all these things that no other man can possibly accomplish, while everybody else actually does suffer. I remember when I was originally studying,
they all die.
Well, they either die or eventually they all die. But one of the best things was when they go through the Sirens and Scylla and Charybdis. Now, when it goes to the Sirens, no man can hear the sirens. But what does Odysseus say? All of you put wax in your ears so you're safe, but strap me, tie me down to the mast so that I can hear them. You son of a bitch. You asshole.
Well, he still had to, he just, I don't know. He was...
Yeah. Odysseus is awesome.
Odysseus was smart, but he was kind of a greasy, oily trickster. That's how he survived the fucking Trojan War. Well, it's how, he does this. But the thing about the Odyssey is, like, dude starts out going home. You know how far Ithaca is from Troy? It's about 100 nautical miles straight through.
Yeah, but Poseidon doesn't let him go home. That's the thing.
Right. He takes 10 years to do it, and he loses all but one of his 100 ships, and almost every fucking sailor with him ends up dying one way or another, or being left behind, or something fucked up. And at one point, he gets stranded on an island with an immortal that he falls in love with, forgetting that he has a goddamn wife. And nothing bad happens to him there. He just wastes a fuckload of...
Yeah. And of course, his wife is busy sitting there fending. She's fending off suitors.
Yeah, because they all think he's dead.
And he's all busy effing Circe. He's effing everything in sight. Yet he comes home, and then he slaughters all of them.
Yep. How dare you touch my wife? And he takes up the great bow of Ithaca, and starts putting fucking holes in people.
It's an awesome scene where it's the bow that nobody but Odysseus can string. and he's in the old man guise, and he's sitting there going, and then in one graceful thing, strings it, then boom, 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 just slaughters everybody. It's a glorious thing. Anyway,
which was so wild too, because if you read the Homer's version of that, right, he's not described as a great strong man. It wasn't that nobody could string that bow because they weren't strong enough. It was because like everything else he did, there was a trick to it.
Yeah, he had to grease it just right.
Yeah. You know, I don't see Christopher Nolan doing this well. I just don't, because like even really great movies that he did, like The Prestige, right? Everything can be explained by mundanity in that, except Tesla's machine, and even that was under the guise of science and not magic.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that on Roundtable. Jed and I we're going to go even deeper than what we just talked about right now, because that's the question: can Nolan actually do this? Because this is way outside his comfort zone or his wheelhouse. So we'll see. And I mean, I like the Trojan War. But I like the Iliad, but I love the Odyssey. The Odyssey is greater than the Iliad for me. So I would love a good adaptation. Last one I saw was the Sci-Fi Channel one with what was his name? Armand Desante. Armand Desante. He was where he played Odysseus, and that wasn't very good. That was not good at all. I mean, he's going to go to hell. He has to go to hell and see Achilles and see everybody there that died in the war. Right. We're going to put this on Jay. We're going to come back to it on Sunday.
It's not exactly hell, but yeah.
Well, you know what I mean. So, see, Kratos, I don't hate that one, but it annoys me, Troy, but it annoys me that they dodge around the mythological aspects of it.
Yeah, that's how I see them doing that, because that was the whole thing about like Brad Pitt's character Achilles, right? He's the son of the goddess Thetis. He is physically actually invulnerable, except in the part where on the part of his ankle where she had to hold him while she dipped him in the immortality liquid or whatever. They left that out. They left out the fact that it depends on who's telling the story. They left out the fact that the centaurs and the Amazons both got involved in this war.
The gods actually got involved.
Yep. Until fought on the battlefield.
Until Zeus said, "You fucking stop right now." No.
Yeah.
No.
You know, they left out so much shit because it wasn't realistic, or we're gonna make it realistic. I was like, you're missing the point.
And the chick they had for Helen, she wasn't that hot. She was not hot.
Well, to be fair, the real Helen of Troy probably wasn't that hot either. You're talking about a limited gene pool in a very small part of the world. I'm sorry.
Point being, though, if they make Zendaya Helen of Troy, fuck this shit up.
You know she will be.
I know she will be, because Helen is in the Odyssey. She's in
which
the Odyssey.
Makes no sense, by the way, because Helen was Mycenaean, and they were very pale people.
Yeah, but and because he goes to see Menelaus, who lives. That's the other thing I also don't like about the Troy movie is they kill Menelaus. Menelaus is one of the only guys that lives, along with Odysseus. He's one of the only ones that lives. Because he goes
Ajax
back.
dies, Agamemnon dies, Paris dies, Hector dies.
Everybody else dies,
but the one guy who was fucking invulnerable dies in that war.
Yeah. So yes, so at one point we see her with Menelaus, and I swear to God, they're gonna, because they can't make her Penelope, because she's too young. Penelope needs to be in like her 40s to be Odysseus' wife.
She could be Cassandra, though.
Maybe, or maybe they might make her Circe. They could make her Circe, which would not even be good. Yeah. I'm gonna repeat myself. I'm gonna draw this to a point because I don't want to.
Circe or Calliope, one of the two.
Yeah. Point is, though, can we stop trying to make Zendaya hot? Can we please stop this? She's not hot.
She's not terrible looking. She's just a stick figure.
She's plain. She has the body of a 12-year-old boy. I'm not into that.
I agreed. You know, I don't particularly find her that attractive because she looks like a child to me. I know she's like 30 now or whatever, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah. All right. Kratos McGregor.
Well, your grandma lied.
There you go. So yeah, we're gonna talk more about that on Sunday. We'll do a whole segment. I'm sure we'll get a little more news before then. We'll have a casting list, and it should be a thing, and we'll come back to it. And now that's obviously at least 2 years away because their first casting. So we'll see what happens when that happens. Other than that, Kratos, unless you got Kratos, I mean Samuel, unless you have anything else, let's wrap it up. We are over 2 hours. So,
nope, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. All right then. What you got going on this week for holiday week?
Yeah, no, I'm doing my usual schedule. You know, my next shows on my channel, Abyssal Musings on Friday and Screaming to the Void on Saturday, are both after, you know, the majority of people will be done with like holiday shit. As far as I know, if Devil's feeling better, I think I don't remember if we're doing a Beelzebub this week or not, but if we are, I'll be there.
I know he canceled because he was sick on Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah. If Exiled Lioness decides to go live, I will probably be there because she is a Muslim and doesn't care about Christmas. You know, and then like I said earlier in the stream, man, I might do something on the 25th just because I have the day off and I have no plans at all. So we'll see. I haven't decided yet, but I kind of hate that you just use this avatar the one fucking time. So you know.
All right. As for me, I'm going to endeavor to put out the final Dune Prophecy season finale review. They renewed it for a second season, Samuel. And
of course they did.
The only thing I can think of, because I was asked this on B-Sup this afternoon, they must have contracted it for 2 seasons, 12 episodes, 6 and 6. That's the only thing I could possibly think of, because nobody's watching this. Nobody cares.
Nobody's honestly, dude. As far as I can tell on the internet, you're the only one talking about it. Besides, I think Nerd Cookies, who just laid into them the other day.
Yeah, and so the whole thing, when it started, I saw the Samba ratings. It launched for the premiere with 875,000 views on Samba, and it's only gone down to then. And I've looked at the corresponding Nielsen. Didn't even break original Nielsen top 10 on streaming. Didn't even break into it. Nobody watched this. And as I stated before, through this whole past month and a half, I've been getting hate from both sides. People hating on me because I'm hating on it, and people hating on me because I don't hate Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson. So this thing it's not worth my time. I'll finish it out. I'm going to do a lickety split one tomorrow like I've been doing. And then Wednesday, we've got more Skeleton Crew. Thursday, nothing this Thursday because we did everything early because of the holidays. Friday, we got Ballbusters. The Melees are back, which means lots of drinking. Dermy's going to drink for the first time in 5 months.
Dermy should probably continue to not drink. I mean, in all seriousness, like it's doing him good.
It is, but the Melees are his exception because when they come on, it's chaos, and we're gonna get hiccup Dermy probably. So
that's like saying I love my wife, but if this one chick comes over, I have to fuck her in front of her. You know.
Well, it's gonna be chaos because there'll be Oreos or other foods and drinks and people feeling sick, and it's going to be glorious because the Melees are always a fun one on Ballbusters. So catch us on Ballbusters. There'll probably be some Starship Troopers Friday. This Saturday, we're not doing drive-in this Saturday. We're punting it again another week because we got Doctor Who Christmas special this week. So Doctor Who Cares Reviews will be this Saturday in the drive-in slot. Me, Jed, and Dermy will be having our final meltdown of the year for Doctor Who. I might even do a review on it. We'll see. Depends on when I watch it. Maybe Thursday. Then Sunday Roundtable, where we're going to talk the Odyssey announcement. We're also going to talk what we think the worst woke failures were in 2024. And then discussion, how far away are we from the end of all this? And on top of whatever else happens, we'll go over box office, all the usual stuff. Then Monday, we're back here. We're back here for another Mellow Mondays. And we will see what comes around then. So till then, thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. We appreciate each and every one of you. Hit those like buttons. Subscribe to
Hope you enjoyed the
channels.
show.
Oh yeah, we hope you did. We try our best. And we are on our way heading into 2025, where hopefully we get over the hump, kick the channel into super high gear, and I can move on to the next phase of the things I want to do to bring you guys fresh entertainment, fresh IPs, and new stuff. But until then, guys, thank you all for being here. You guys have a good night. Have a Merry Christmas. If I don't see you before tomorrow night or Wednesday, and we'll see you guys later. Until then, guys, take it easy, everybody. Have a good night.